Kudon, president of the Sports Betting Alliance. He joined us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Again, the vote is coming up on the 29th, but as he said, that may not be the once and final vote. It could get kicked back down to the House with some adjustments and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, it is strange where, if you're in Huntsville, you can drive a few minutes and you can legally wager right there on an app in Tennessee. And there's so many people that, when it comes to lottery, people are driving to different states to spend their money. I just don't understand that we all can't agree. Like, whether you agree with gambling or not, you don't have to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still going to happen in this state if this is not approved. So why not legalize it and have a benefit with it?
Speaking of that, the lock is still tonight. Hemp Hill Services. We got a free play out right now in the NBA.
205-229-2090. 2 total plays tonight, including a free play. Jump on board. Coming off a 3-2 last night with a free winner. The night before, we were 3-1 with a free winner. Get on board with us. Hemp Hill Services, Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Trusted name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hiphillservices.com.
When it comes to Alabama and Auburn at Georgia, Alabama at Kentucky, more likely scenario, 2-0, 1-1, 0-2 for the state teams. The most likely scenario to you?
1-1.
1-1, okay.
Yeah. I think it's going to be 1-1.
You want to tell me who the one is?
Both are tough games. I think Alabama loses, and I think Auburn wins.
Okay, so you got Auburn winning in Athens, Alabama losing. Interesting. In the most recent bracketology, Tennessee right on the cusp of a 1 seed, Alabama right on the cusp of a 2 seed, Auburn right on the cusp of a 3 seed. And that is all right there for Joe Lunardi, if you want to go look at that. Thank you to Champy's for bringing this hour. Champy's, world-famous fried chicken. Go out and get it this weekend. Champy'sChicken.com. Champy'sChicken.com. That is going to do it for another week. We'll see you tomorrow from the RV show at Johnston RV Center. It is the next round. Make sure you set your alerts, and give us a thumbs up so you know when we're live. Set those alerts. We'll be live tomorrow. Give us a thumbs up. It helps us a lot. Have a great afternoon.
On the surface, all is well. It's those little things we try and sell. You may see me in the by and by. I call your name, await your reply. Like a breath chilled by the wind, it's the weight it carries to transcend. As the wave achieves its height, we lost the day, but we've got the night. We lost the day, but we've got the night. Unbeknownst to the falling rain, our hands are marked with the subtle stains, as reminders held by a string holds the balance we were meant to bring. You may feel me in the fading light. We lost the day, but we've got the night. We lost the day, but we've got the night. With the night comes the dawn. Yeah. With the light comes the dawn. To give you
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Cam Newton doing what Cam Newton does, fighting off rushers. We'll get to that amazing video and get reaction from these guys coming up. A lot of college football news. But we start with basketball and a big blue beatdown with Alabama. We talked about it a little bit Saturday in our Johnson RV show down from the BJCC, what an opportunity that was for Alabama. And they scored a lot of points, as they tend to do. But this was one of the biggest beatdowns I've ever seen between two really good basketball teams.
You know, it's amazing, Brown. If I would have told you, we go back to Friday at the end of the show, and I say, look, Alabama is going to score 95 points. They're going to shoot 57%. They're going to out-rebound Kentucky, and they will shoot more free throws than the Cats do in Lexington.
Wow.
I'd have said they win the game.
They lose by 22.
Yeah, I would have said they win the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's nearly impossible when you think about that. And I know Nate Oates, and I'm sure we'll get to the comments here in a little bit.
Oh, I got it queued and ready to go. Cut one when you're ready. How honest is this guy?
Well, pretty. I mean, when your offense can play
you cannot say it
that well and you lose by 22 points, I mean, that is concerning.
I mean, they're giving up 105 points in the last two games. It's going to be hard to skirt the fact that you're not playing defense right now.
Yeah, but this quote is one of the best ones of all time from Nate Oates. There may have been some questions about who we are. There are no more questions. Here's Nate Oates.
Kentucky was ready to play tonight. We weren't. Cal had his guys ready to go. I didn't. They looked great. We looked awful. Our defensive intensity was not there. I mean, I told our guys after the game, we've had question marks about our defense all year. Those question marks are completely erased. Everybody knows that we don't really guard at this point because I thought our effort stunk. There's not a whole lot of positives about this. The only positive thing is we played well enough on offense through the course of the year to be tied for first place after that horrendous effort. So we got four games left, and we got to try to figure out how to get these guys a little more motivated to play harder on defense.
Yeah, I mean, if he was on the Titanic, he's like, "There's some lifeboats over there," but if you know, there's not enough, so you might as well just jump in the water and go ahead and die.
There's no question about whether or not we built this boat well. I mean, it's sinking. I think all questions are answered.
Nate has built a really good program, but this is on Nate. I mean, this is effort.
There's no doubt.
Yeah, I mean,
he's the head coach. It starts with him.
You know, I described this, and Dunaway, I think you liked this way back in the day. Nolan Richardson, they had the dog and heat defense, 40 minutes of hell, where they would get after you and they were on your leg. They were playing with so much effort. That is a poon defense you're seeing right there from Alabama. It's as soft as it comes.
Yeah, I would say they are a lot like the early 90s, and I've never been able to say this school, Loyola Marymount.
Loyola Marymount. You know, we've got a friend's daughter that goes there.
Oh, yeah. I'm aware of that.
Rarely do we have a word you can't pronounce.
It's a pretty campus. I've been the campus is very close to where we stayed when we were out in L.A. Yeah, I never was able to do it back then. Even
Loyola Marymount.
I just always called it Marymount.
Can you do Loyola Chicago?
No, it's not the second word I struggle with. It's the first one. I can't do Loyola. I can't say that one. Loyola, but I cannot put them together.
Okay. Loyola.
I can't.
Even I can do that one. I can't do jewelry though.
So jewelry. Yeah. So you leave out a
jewelry's tough.
You leave out a syllable.
You know, you used to talk about our good friend Herb Winches. How would he say car wash?
Car wash. Yeah.
That's a Midwestern thing.
Really?
I didn't realize that. You know, he's from Kentucky, which is kind of
it's close enough
in the Midwest. But yeah, I heard some people talking about it the other day. Car wash is Midwestern.
Can you do that thing that picks us up if we're injured on the side of the road? With the red light on top?
The ambulance.
What was the one he couldn't say?
Well, he used to say ambulance.
He used to say ambulance.
Ambulance.
Yeah. Dang it. What's that sauce I put on a steak sometimes?
Oh, that's the one. Yeah.
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
Yeah, he would add a syllable. But the old Marymount teams didn't even try to play defense, right? I mean, they were just like, we're going to just outscore anybody we play. We're going to try to score 115 every game, and we may need it every game.
Yeah, but what this game was like.
That's what Alabama feels like right now.
Hank gathers, never dies. They're an irrelevant program. I mean, what made them relevant? And look, and it was a pretty good team. It was Bo Kimball. It was Hank Gathers. There was a white dude. Fry was his last name, Jeff Fry. They could shoot the eyes out of it.
They sure could.
But they became relevant when they lost in the West Coast Conference tournament, or actually they lost Hank Gathers when he passed away.
Yeah, that's when everybody started paying attention. But that team Paul
Sweet 16.
Westfall was
Yeah.
the coach. Paul Westfall beat Alabama in the Sweet 16, lost to UNLV in the Elite Eight. They did not play defense. They just didn't really try to play defense. They were going to score as many points as they could score and hope that was enough. And unfortunately for Alabama, over the last 2 games, they have turned into that team. We're just going to score as many as we could score, and we hope that's enough. And that's the way Marymount used to play.
Much more on what we saw in basketball as we move throughout the opening part of our show here and everything else that's going on. Richard Hendrix joins our show at 11 o'clock Central Time to start the final hour of the show. That is being brought to you today by a couple of great sponsors, including our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. I lost 8 pounds while I was away. Hopefully you can tell. Most of it from the inability to sit up straight without coughing. I do apologize if I cough anytime throughout the show today. As anybody who's been dealing with any sickness will tell you in the back room, and they've been dealing with a lot of it, it comes with a lot of stuff in your head. And I already have a lot of stuff going on in my head. Our friends at Way to Wellness, though, will help you get back to healthy living. They can do that with one easy click. All you have to do is go to their website at planforme.com. That'll take you to Way to Wellness. No contracts, no sign-up fee, and your first consultation is absolutely free. That's Leslie right there. Her and her board-certified team will take care of you, and they'll help you jumpstart that weight loss right here in 2024. Maybe they control some blood pressure numbers and a lot more. It's real easy to do just to get the details, and there's no obligation. As I said, that first consultation is free. Board certified and ready to go. Planforme.com. Planforme.com. It's Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. So Alabama drops this one. Now it's a huge game with Ole Miss coming up Wednesday night over in Oxford because Ole Miss is dipping. They're falling apart. They don't play good defense.
No.
Which is really surprising because when you look at the identity of their head coach, I mean, that's what he bases everything on.
I think it'd be hard for people to believe, but according to KenPom, they're actually significantly ranked worse defensively than Alabama this morning. Significantly worse. So
yeah, and so you get Tommy who's saying it's tough to beat anybody who shoots 70%, but that's what we're saying, Tommy, right, Brown? Is that that defense sometimes allowed you. I mean, hitting 70% in an open gym, as you guys proved at the Squadron the other day.
It's hard to do.
It's hard to do.
Yeah.
But still, you got to make those shots a little bit more contested.
Well, I mean, I would like to know, and I don't know the answer to this question. I'll try to find it. How many teams have shot 70% against Houston this year? They probably played some pretty good teams, don't you think? I wonder how many teams have shot 70% against Houston.
Well, them and Auburn are usually holding teams to around 37%.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, that's called defense, right? I mean, I know a team is shooting hot. How many of those shots were good looks, though? I mean, a lot of them, I thought.
Oh, yeah.
They had some open threes. They had good looks. So, I mean, you can't just say, oh, Kentucky was hot. Kentucky was hot. Kentucky was also getting really good looks. Nate Oates said it. You don't have to argue with us. Nate Oates is the one that said we don't guard anybody.
Yeah, you know, back to Ole Miss, and the metrics might show they're a worse defense, but they hadn't given up close to 117 points in a game. I mean, the most they've given up in a game was 91 to Auburn when Auburn had that incredible second half.
Yeah, at home. That was on their home floor.
So, I mean, the problem is, like, Ole Miss overall is playing basketball, losing 5 of 6, and it's going to be really difficult for them to get back in the bubble picture, to me, based on their schedule that's left. But that Alabama performance on Saturday, I hadn't seen Ole Miss's defense look that bad.
No.
Yeah.
It's a really good team.
In
The problem is Auburn's offense is not as good as Alabama's offense. So when you put that against, I mean, you say they've only given up 91. Well, they haven't played an offense like Alabama's offense on a consistent basis either. So that number can get a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
No, it can, yeah.
Yeah. So
it's
a recipe for a good game for Alabama Wednesday and what is becoming.
They played Disrupt 2 weeks ago and gave up 75.
Yeah. If they want to be SEC regular season champions, Wednesday becomes huge because Here comes Tennessee, and Tennessee gets both teams in our state this week. Auburn first, and then Alabama coming up on Saturday. Auburn gets the win over Georgia. We'll jump into that game and a lot more after LT tells us about our friends at Dr. B and Brownie tells us about our friends at Bandwagon.
Yeah, our man Dr. B, again, when we started this venture, started to thin out. I asked around, everybody said, be preemptive. Dr. Beckenstein is the guy you need to go see. Since I went to see Dr. B, my hair has more than doubled in thickness for more than 20 years. Women and men have turned to Dr. Beckenstein for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience experience his advanced training in genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. B today, 205-319-0316. That's 205-319-0316. You can also go online, t3hair.net.
Bandwagon Sports, Jimmy Dunaway. Bandwagonsports.com is where you go. Bandwagonsports.com. Baseball and softball season. It is here. It is heated up. Your kid can have their best season ever. Top of the line bats, gloves, custom uniforms. All there. Bandwagon has everything your family needs to make sure that season goes as best it can and starts off strong. Your family's first year at the ballpark or your family, their season pros, it does not matter. Bandwagon Sports is the place for you. Never a bad time to jump on the bandwagon. Find a location near you, bandwagonsports.com. That is bandwagonsports.com.
So you sound negative on Alabama today, like you don't think they can stick the landing here. You think
I think they can.
Give me your feeling. I want to know where you think Alabama is right now.
They're lost after that. I mean, when you score 95 points, you shoot 57%, you shoot more free throws. I mean, we talked about this Saturday morning when you were talking about typically it's 8-on-5 when you go to Rupp. And when you shoot more free throws in Kentucky, but you still find a way to lose by 22 points.
Well, they can't call a foul on you, Lance, if you're not within 5 feet of the guy with the ball.
Well, they were not going to draw many defensive fouls.
Well, I will say this could go one of two ways, though. You saw Rick Pitino in the comments he made about St. John. Since then, they're 2-0, and they beat Creighton, who looked so good this past week, against UConn. So it worked for Pitino. So you can galvanize when you get thrown under a bus, much deserved, by the way. So we'll see how Alabama reacts to this. If they go on the road to Oxford, again, against a team that's really struggling in Ole Miss, and they lose that game.
Yeah, one key factor in that game, Alan Flanagan, who's part of their team over there. He's a regular. Plays
no chance
a lot.
He plays.
He throws a vicious elbow in the face, gets kicked out of the game, a flagrant 2. You see the replay, and it becomes obvious that it was a reason on review to have the ejection there. If Wagi missed a game for what he did, I don't know how long Alan Flanagan will be out.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't bother me if he didn't see the court again this year. It was that serious to me.
Yeah.
But I would think if you're Alabama, you'll learn a lot about the makeup of this Alabama team. Like, you shouldn't right now even need Nate Oates to have to say a word. If you're Alabama, this team on the inside, right, should be challenging one another after these last 2 games they've played. You were very fortunate to get out of the Florida game with a win. Very fortunate. Your defensive effort was subpar in that one. Your defensive effort was beyond subpar against Kentucky. And whoever the leaders are, Mark Sears, whoever the voices in that locker room are, Nate Oates shouldn't have to say a word. This Wednesday should be the best defensive effort you've seen from Alabama in a very, very long time. I mean, you should confuse them with last year's Alabama team, the way they're playing defense on Wednesday.
And we've seen most teams react. Calipari called out his defense, over a week ago?
Before Auburn.
Yeah, and they play their best defensive game against Auburn en route to running them off the court, kind of. Not like they did Alabama, but Alabama had won 13 of 15. So I'm not saying you panic, but I don't know what's the expectation for this team now?
Well, I wanted to clear up because you'd come across in the chat room like you were panicking, like you were giving up on this team, and I just wanted to give you a chance to state that you had not. They had won 13 of 15. They are a projected 3 or 4 seed in the NCAA tournament, maybe a 2 seed still.
No, but there's no way their defense is going to be they're not going to consistently be good defensively for 4 or 5 games.
No. I think, again.
So I don't know what their ceiling is.
I think probably Sweet 16 right now.
That's about right.
I mean, I think they're probably going to be a 3 or 4 seed. And now if the bottom falls out, they're not. But I don't think the bottom's going to fall out. I think they're going to win Wednesday.
Yeah, and again, I mean, who knows? I mean, this is one of those crazy years. I mean, we go back to last year when you had Florida Atlantic and you had San Diego State in the Final Four. I mean, anything can happen if Bama gets hot. But the way they play defense on Saturday, that's not a good recipe for success once you get to the tournament.
Yeah, and I don't think they're that bad. That Saturday bad defensively. I thought that was a bad day defensively. Just like when they hit a bad shooting day, they're not that bad offensively either. I don't think that's emblematic of what their actual defense is.
Well, and they were missing 2 key parts, too.
Yeah. I mean, you're missing Reitzel, which affects the way teams guard you, obviously. And, Wagi is a guy that gives you In conference play, he's probably averaging 3 to 5 minutes off the bench. I mean, that was not going to be the difference in winning or losing the game, having either one of those guys.
I've been on my back all week, and not in a good way. I've been out for a while, and so I don't. Reitzel's a concussion.
Yep,
it's 2 games now. Does his concussion have anything to do with the misfitting bandage over Rylan Griffin's eye?
If you want to start piecing things together, it certainly seems that way,
Did
right?
they run into each other in practice or something?
I wasn't there.
Yeah,
we talked about
I didn't know
this.
if it had come out.
And I don't know how you feel about this, but I was telling Brown the worst concussion I ever got was in basketball, jumping for loose ball head to head. And I'm just shocked you don't see more of that in today's game.
So he's two games out with a concussion. We'll see his status when Nate Oates speaks to the media this week before they play.
Back.
Before they play, I thought he'd be back on Saturday, but he missed that game as well. And apparently, we only have one size bandage that apparently fits all for Rylan Griffin. I thought he was a 1990s rapper. Covering up one eye, his eye there with that patch.
Yeah, I would think you get that specifically to fit. Like you understand, like if you're a military medical guy.
Yeah, that's all you got in the field.
Yeah, you've just got them already prepackaged.
Yeah, he shows up with an M in blood on his forehead. We gave him the morphine.
Yeah, I don't know if this is. It looks about this when I'm watching it, Rockstar. It looks like it's like this. It's like I don't see how his eyelashes are not hitting it.
More annoying than helpful.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I got to think Alabama's printing money over there defensively. I'm sure they are. Alabama's over there printing money. I'm sure they've got the size bandage. I'm sure there's a reason he's wearing a big one.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and tell you this though. I didn't understand why Alabama only shot 17 threes. That's not their game. They were trying to run everything inside on Kentucky. They shot 17 threes.
Yeah, I mean, Kentucky, shoots 24.
Yeah.
I mean, that's more in the realm. Alabama 24 to 30, you would think, on the road against Kentucky.
Oh, Alabama shoots 40 usually. They shot 17.
Yeah, I'm with James. Walters was super overwhelmed that Rupp Arena had appeared. Sam Walters.
Yeah. Well, so good Wednesday night.
He was.
Different situation.
Yeah, just a different situation. I mean, that's one you hope you could flush and move on. And you hope it leads again to your best defensive effort of the year against Ole Miss, and we'll see. And then if you could beat Ole Miss, then that Tennessee game carries all the weight in the world.
No Jalen Williams. He was with the team, but not playing, obviously, as Auburn manhandles Georgia 97-76. Got juicy there midway through the second half when Georgia cut it to 3. A lot of Chad Baker-Mazara, especially early in the first half with 18. He ended up with 25, a career high. But Chaney Johnson comes in place of the injured Jalen Williams and drops 16. And then the running joke on this show about a guy who couldn't throw it in the ocean, Aiden Holloway all of a sudden hit 5, not 1, but 5 threes.
Yeah, there was a Holloway sighting. And look, this is what the coaches expected, what the fans when they signed Aiden Holloway. And, after the game, Bruce says he's one of the best guards out there, that he just hasn't had his shot recently. If Holloway can get his shot and gets confidence and he starts making, 3 or 4 or even 5, as he did Saturday, threes in a game, Auburn's going to be really tough to beat.
We talked about it last week. In the absence of Reitzel, Sam Walters stepped up, and Nelson probably had their best combo games against Florida. And we asked the question, who would that be for Auburn? And Aiden Holloway was one of the names that got thrown out there. Chad Baker-Mazara has probably his best game as an Auburn Tiger.
I don't think Chaney Johnson was a guy that got really mentioned.
No. There was a little bit of mention of Chaney. People were asking, could it be Chaney Johnson's breakout game? I mean, so you were kind of looking for that guy. And you hope, and much in the same way Alabama fans had hoped this would be the case when Reitzel gets back, that these guys wake up and they continue to play that way. You hope the same thing for Auburn, right? Jalen Williams is coming back. You hope that Chad Baker-Mazara, while he wouldn't be starting, could still keep that same type of game coming off the bench. And if Aiden Holloway finds his stroke right now, it's a little bit of a different team for Auburn.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if that guy doesn't have to hit 5 of them, he can just occasionally hit an outside shot.
If he's just a threat, especially when you get Jalen Williams back.
That's right. That opens up things there. So for Auburn, it's Wednesday night at Tennessee, and while Alabama's at Ole Miss. And then Tennessee comes to town for game day on Saturday, which at one point we thought was a chance for Alabama maybe to lock up the SEC regular season. Now it's a dogfight in what will be one of the wildest Final 4 games in SEC championship chase history. We'll talk about that a little bit later on the show. UAB wins again on the road at Tulane. They get Wichita State Wednesday night at home down at Bartow Arena. Good win for the Blazers as they beat Tulane. They're currently tied for second. in the chase in the AAC. South Florida is going to be the 1 seed. They got a 3-game lead with 4 to play.
What a story there, too.
It is, the Bulls there. But then UAB right there with the 2 seed in the AAC fighting for that with Andy's team down the stretch. And then there's Samford. Congratulations to the Samford Bulldogs and Bucky. Now back-to-back regular season SoCon champions. And for these one-bid leagues, and I know Brian Passink disagrees with me here, the analyst for Alabama basketball guy, so he knows everything about the tournament and stuff. At a league like that Samford's in, those one-bid leagues, it almost sucks that the regular season champion is not your automatic bid because that's your better team, right?
Yeah.
And it should have been Samford last year, but they lose in the tournament. Now we're going to be in the same situation again where Samford, who has locked up the regular season championship again, they're 72-ish in the Ken Palm. They're the kind of team that could be dangerous if they got to the NCAA tournament.
What does he disagree with you on that you should get the bid for?
He loves the one bid league tournaments where it's win or go home, and there's a lot of excitement in that.
No, I think you're right. I mean, it does make more sense, especially for a conference like the Southern Conference. But the problem is if you do that, then why do you even have a postseason tournament?
You don't have a tournament, and I think the truth in this is that's where a lot of their TV revenue lies. Is ESPN wants those tournaments.
I mean, that's the only reason I watch and I typically wait until the championship unless we've got to play at Lance's Lock. But that's what's so exciting about a Southern Conference championship game is knowing what is on the line.
Yeah, whatever money they get out of ESPN, what does that look like without a conference tournament?
Yeah, it's a great point because it's championship week. What is it? Capital One championship week.
Yeah, and
it's got a sponsorship with it.
Right, and they're banking on a buzzer beater or that even if it's just the one game for the tournament berth, that's huge for ESPN.
Yeah, and does.
I get what you're saying though.
It does bring a lot of excitement. You could see a 4 seed make a run and play their way into the tournament.
If you wanted to build the best NCAA tournament, if that was your only goal, you would take the regular season champion.
Which in football we always say it is.
I know, but
build the best postseason tournament.
But that's what you would do in college basketball. You would say the postseason champ gets in. And listen, one day when they expand the tournament, this may be the way it works. Rather than conference tournaments, just take all the regular season champs, add more at-larges, and instead of conference tournament week, you've got the start of the NCAA tournament.
Well, and look, if you're any of these other coaches, that's the team you don't want to get into this tournament is Samford. Like, you take any of those other Southern Conference teams.
That's right.
Samford gets in and they're a 14 or a 13 seed. Boy, that's a dangerous game for a 3 or 4.
Yeah, if you're a 3 or 4 and you turn on Samford film, you're the coach. What do? You say, God,
you're like, how did I get this draw?
God, I wish we'd have gotten another 13 or 14.
Oh, you quickly you call the guys in and say, hey, I know you never heard of this school.
That's right.
But forget that. Yeah. Watch them play.
The one thing you don't watch the Purdue film. That's the one game that got overwhelmed. Every other game, they're really, really good. But I see your point. For the excitement factor, that conference tournament, those small conference tournaments, like I'll watch the Manhattan, whatever conference that is. I'll watch their championship game sometimes.
The Jaspers, whoever the Jaspers are.
Just because I know it carries a tournament bid, and that's what NCAA is, or that's what ESPN is banking on. They don't make money off the NCAA tournament, obviously. Their moneymaker in basketball outside of the regular season of those conference tournaments. So it's why it'll never happen until they expand the tournament.
These guys started talking about it last week. We're going to talk about it here going to break. The Sports Betting Alliance, LT. Tell us about what's going on in our state right now and how people that would love to see organize and legalize gambling in our state can help make it happen.
Yeah, look, this is your time. And, make your voice heard. I made the call last week. I'm going to give you the phone number here in a second where you can actually call your senator. But look, the Alabama State Senate is going to soon decide if you get the right to vote on a lottery, casinos, and sports betting, but they need to hear from you. Did you realize Alabama is one of only 12 states where you can't legally bet on sports? Ridiculous, in my opinion. House Bill 151 will allow you to choose whether you can place a bet on the big game this weekend. You can call your state senator today. Tell them yes on the lottery and gaming bill. For more information, go to sportsbettingalliance.org. It is paid for by the Sports Betting Alliance. Again, sportsbettingalliance.org. And I am going to give you the phone number here. 334.
This is for our local senator?
Yeah, 334-261-0800. That's 334-261-0800. I called it on Friday around 2 o'clock. They were already out playing golf with you, Dunaway. But I left them a message, and I am telling them Bill 151, ultra important to me.
We'll keep you updated on Alan Flanagan. Brownie will give me the breaking news sign and let me know if he's suspended for Wednesday night's game with Alabama. A lot of other stuff to get to, including some college football news. Big week in the NFL. It is combine time. We'll do your best and worst of the weekend. Jump into the chat room. Remember, like, subscribe, give us a thumbs up on any format, any part of the social media that you're watching or listening to us on. And a new show debuting today, The Meltdown. We'll tell you more about that coming up right before Trash. That's happening later today. It's all happening right here on TNR.
Follow Rockstar on Twitter @RockstarBHM.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Ready to swap from your current auto or RV loan provider and drop your interest rate? Now is your chance. With Legacy Credit Union's annual swap and drop promotion, you can swap your current loan and save with Legacy in minutes. Whether you're a member or a potential member, Legacy Credit Union is here to help you drive into savings. Go online to swapanddrop.com or visit one of their 9 locations to take advantage of this incredible offer. Limited time offer, terms and conditions may apply. See Credit Union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Sports fans, Alabama State Senate will soon decide if you get the right to vote on a lottery, casinos, and sports betting. But they need to hear from you. Did you know Alabama is one of only 12 states where you can't legally bet on sports? House Bill 151 allows you to choose whether you can place a bet on the big game this weekend. Call your state senator today. Tell them to vote yes on the lottery and gaming bill. For more information, go to sportsbettingalliance.org. It's paid for by the Sports Betting Alliance. Again, sportsbettingalliance.org.
When on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or The Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
Best and worst of the weekend coming up in a second. Did want to point out that the SAG Awards happened, Screen Actors Guild, and Secession and The Bear were big TV winners, but Secession was the big winner overall, as you thought they would be always.
Yeah, no surprise, especially in their last season. I would assume Kieran Culkin probably won Best Actor.
I don't have details of that. Is the Academy Awards already happened, or is that that precedes it, right?
Yeah, usually? I saw updated odds this morning.
Okay, so big win for Secession, a show we're very, very enjoyed during its run there, and hope they continue to have the success during the award season there. Peter King announcing his Secession only won 1 award according to Lunsford last night. Wow, that's crazy. It said big winner on my headline.
One award was
Well, I
something.
mean, if it won Best Drama or Best Ensemble Cast.
Yeah, I guess that's a big winner. Way to go, Lunsford. Glad you're back. Wait, I'm back.
No, you're the one that's back, yeah.
Also, what was that?
You were talking about Peter King. I read
Peter
his
King
goodbye.
is retiring.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I read his goodbye column this
Yeah.
morning. I skimmed through parts of it.
So is
but
it
resume
his
part-
final Monday morning quarterback?
He's doing one more that is all reader driven. Like he gave out an email address and he's like, I'll for however many words I need to do, I'll do the best feedback I get on this. You get to do the last column for me.
Oh.
So basically he's letting his audience do his final column. But today was his goodbye column. That's been a heck of a career for him.
Yeah.
And
where'd you see Peter King for the first time?
see him or read him?
Read him.
Oh, Sports Illustrated.
Sports
Yeah.
Illustrated.
Yeah, I used
Back
to read.
page, right? Or was it front page?
No. He was just the NFL guy. The back page, my childhood of Sports Illustrated, the back page was Rick Riley.
Okay, yeah.
I always
you're
enjoyed
right.
Rick Riley's column on the back page.
Yeah,
Peter King.
Dr. Z. Paul
Dr.
Zimmerman
Z,
was the guy
yep.
way back in the day
Yep.
before Peter King. I've always enjoyed Peter's work.
Yeah, I liked it. I saw him most recently, and I would read sometimes. I did not read word for word Football Morning in America. That is a very long read.
Yes.
But I would skim through it and try to hit the parts that I thought I might be interested in, you know?
Like Secession having a big night at the SAG Awards.
That's right, yeah. But I would also see him, obviously, on the NBC Sunday Night Show. You know, he was part of Football Night in America. So good run for him, man. I mean, did it for a very long time at a very high level.
Yeah, and I was off last week. Eli Gold, congratulations on 35 great years. Really excited about Chris Stewart taking over as the play-by-play voice of the Alabama Crimson Tide, and looking forward to Chris's tenure there, following up Mr. Forney and Mr. Gold's time there in the chair in Tuscaloosa. Our friends at Johnson RV Center, we were with them this weekend. They gave us great jerseys to wear during the show.
Yes, sir. Number 10. We're number 10 all weekend.
10
You retiring
years.
yours up here?
10 years. And back of mine, Rockstar, Jimmy RV. One of my favorite things LT did was when we first started doing things together, he took the word Jimmy, and I think it was Jimmy Landmine to start with.
I think it was Jimmy America.
And then Jimmy America.
Jimmy Landmine. And
Then
it
Jimmy
just started growing.
Current.
Jimmy Washboard.
Jimmy White. I mean, it's Jimmy everything. So
Yeah.
Jimmy RV this weekend at the RV show with our friends at Johnston RV Center.
Yeah, the RV shows may be over, but the RV show pricing will continue right there at Johnston RV Center. The I-65 exit 304 exit in Coleman. Also 334 indicator. They've got great pricing for you there, so the savings continue. And as we talked about Saturday, don't forget the warranty, lifetime warranty on all new RVs or any used RVs that are 2 years of age that are purchased right there at Johnston RV Center. They stand behind their product with a lifetime warranty. You can always see more at johnstonrvcenter.com or visit them in person. I-65 exit 304 in Coleman, 334 indicator. Always online, johnstonrvcenter.com.
Jace, Jimmy Rotovirus, Richard, Jimmy Mudpuddle. It's been a lot of Jimmys. And Jimmy Cough coming up here in a little bit. Best and worst of the weekend by Hemphill in just a second. But my worst first is these baseball uniforms. Did y'all talk about them last week? I know we did Monday a week ago.
Yeah, we
talked about it a little bit. The Nike now has the monopoly on the uniforms, and the players do not like them at all.
And problem is Fanatics is the ones building it, and apparently all the lettering is smaller, so they look cheaper and everything. They're also see-through. The pants are.
Yeah, this is what doesn't make sense to me, though, Dunaway, is like you would think that the jersey and the pant is made of the same material. So why could you see the jersey through the pant? Why would the pant be thinner than the jersey?
Now, we appreciate Shohei not showing everything there with the shirts long enough, but see-through pants, usually when you can see through material, like I got a pair of white golf shorts.
That's right.
That you can see straight through them.
Yeah, you got to wear different boxers with those.
Yeah, you can see straight through them.
Yeah.
And I assume that the material is just cheap. You know, I would imagine in Major League Baseball, we're going to use the best of the best materials.
Well, I got a white dress shirt one time for a summer wedding. It had to be a shirt and tie, coat and tie deal. And it was a white dress shirt. And Jennifer,
Nip City?
Well, Jennifer brought it home, and you could see right through it. She goes, "You're going to have to wear a T-shirt under that." And I said, "Well, you're going to have to take this one back then."
Yeah,
there's zero chance I'm wearing a T-shirt under a dress shirt in summer.
Yeah.
I mean, I will it'll be an oven.
No, but again, I mean, if it's the same material, why is the
I'm with
pant
you.
thinner than the jersey?
Yeah, it seems like they're making it out of a different material, which makes very, very little
like
sense.
if this Roback shirt that you've got on,
Right.
if you had a Roback pant on and you tuck that in, You're not going to be able to see that shirt.
You
through the
shouldn't.
pant.
No, you should not. I don't get this. Yeah. And I don't get why Nike has screwed with this.
Science, Brownie. They did a lot of research over a long time. Performance wear is what this is. And to take off the bulkiness of the shirt, they have no longer is it sewn-on letters, which I used to love. You know, if we got a baseball uniform, we always had one good home jersey at Thompson where it was sewn on numbers and letters.
Right.
That breastplate was sewn on. And then the road jerseys were printed, right? And they would flake off. You've had them a couple of years. But now apparently the sewn-on breastplates for bulkiness is gone. It's all performance, but the players hate them.
So this is a Seinfeld episode come to life, right? Rockstar, he changed the Yankee uniform and they all hated them?
100% cotton.
Yeah, he went 100% cotton in the Yankee uniform.
Too hot. They're so hot.
They're so hot.
They hated them. So it is a Seinfeld episode come to life here in Major League Baseball. Somebody changed the uniforms, and it's universally hated. Like, I have yet to see a Major League team like, nobody's bitching, but we kind of like ours. You know, it's just more performance.
Guess what? This will be changed quickly.
Yeah,
you would think.
You know who's going to change it real quickly?
Nike?
Fox and ESPN. When the first game on opening day, you can see everybody's bats and balls. It's going to be over with at that point. You're going to have little blurs running around the bases
the
out there.
The old ball bag on full
The
display.
rest of Best and Worst of the Weekend brought to you by our friends at Hemphill. Tell us about Hemphill, LT, and Brownie. We'll get some of the chat room.
Yeah, make sure that HVAC unit ready to keep up with the changing weather. 205-229-2090. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew. The guys at Hemphill Services. Hard to stop a train. Trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. That's 205-229-2090. HemphillServices.com.
NH3425, his best Bucky Ball Mania wins the SoCon. University of Montevallo wins against West Florida. True freshman guard ties the school record with 50 points. Dang. And St. John's win. All of those his best. His worst, the Braves lost. It's a spring game. I mean, I'm assuming that's what he's talking about, right?
Yeah. Yes, opening day's a month away.
Yeah. Volfan 205, best became clear that Delta Connect is the conference player of the year. The worst, everybody bitching about the Wake court storming. I'm assuming we'll get to the Wake thing a little bit later.
Yeah.
Is it clear to you Delta Connect is the SEC player of the year?
I made that decision back in January.
Yeah.
Maybe December.
Seems like you should have waited until you saw the whole season.
I'm the guy who mails in his Heisman vote in October.
I mean, Sears and Broom are right there, but I would say Connect is your guy.
Yeah. Brian, his best and worst. Rick Pitino looking like Pastor Benny Hinn. So this may take some explanation.
I started the Righteous Gemstones this past week, and I'm like 5 or 6 episodes deep, and this is Baby Billy, right?
Benny Hinn. Is Baby Billy based on Benny Hinn?
I don't know if it is or not, but
I mean, a lot of it is, yeah.
Baby Billy does wear a all-white outfit.
Yeah, this probably is. I didn't know anything about Benny Hinn, but probably so.
So Rockstar, probably the one on the far left right there is the one you're going to want to pull up here. You're going to also have to give us a Rick Pitino search. But Benny Hinn, for those that don't know, is one of the TV preachers, and he's got some flair.
Okay, here's Benny Hinn, and then Forster's about to give us. There's Rick Pitino.
I mean, Rick Pitino, it looks more like Scarface to me.
He does this once a year. He did it at Louisville, and everyone said he's out with his Colonel Sanders on because, he was with the young folks then that owned KFC. He does this once a year for a while now, and I don't understand it.
Boy, he would be difficult to deal with.
Patino?
Yeah.
I think he's a handful.
I probably is. Great coach.
Yeah, he can coach. I don't get caught up in a ton of fashion rules, but I did not think you were supposed to wear all white before Easter. Is that not a fact? Am I wrong about that?
It's changed.
You do if your team's struggling.
Yeah, okay, you'll do anything?
Yeah, no. Fashion has completely changed. There's good winter whites now.
I thought white pants were Easter to Labor Day. That's what I always thought.
There's a white pant, white shoe kind of thing, but I think the fashion rules are kind of out the window now.
I don't wear a ton of white pants, so I've not really kept up with this.
I haven't ordered any pasta yet, but I can't tell if I can see through Rick's pants like you can Major League Baseball uniforms.
Depends on which Italian steakhouse you're in there, Jimmy D.
Yeah.
Daniel's best of the weekend. The weather, it was very good. The worst, Alabama's quote-unquote defensive performance. I think the quote-unquote saying they didn't play defense. You can't really call it defense.
Defense is
performance
optional at Rupp Arena.
Lamb My Believers, best the finish to the race yesterday. I've never seen a finish that close. You were watching the race in Atlanta.
Yeah,
huh?
I enjoyed Daytona. The Monday, it was a week ago. And then Atlanta yesterday, which is now called Speedway Racing, which is still an intermediate track. But it comes down to Daniel Suarez, who wins, Ryan Blaney and Kyle Busch, and they have to go to photo review. It's 3 cars, 3 wide, down to and it was a bumper. It really was like, what's the Talking Cars Disney thing or Pixar thing?
Cars?
That's going to be Cars.
It's called Cars.
Rockstar watches it all the time.
Well named.
Watched it this morning.
There's one scene where the one that talks sticks out his tongue.
Lightning McQueen.
Lightning, yeah. He wins the race. It's exactly like that. Except Kyle Busch didn't have a tongue, so he finished third. But it was bumper to bumper. It was an unbelievable ending to the race there. We're looking forward to a big trip to Talladega coming up in April. We'll be out there all weekend long as the racers come into there. Best and worst of the weekend continues. Keep those coming in the chat room.
Can I just give my worst right now and
Absolutely.
do bitching and crying about Wake, because we can't not see this. It's on everywhere. But Filipowski, not as bad of a flop as Caitlin Clark, but pretty bad.
Oh, so you don't think he really got hurt?
I mean, to that degree. And now we're talking. And look, it will be. I really don't care about court storming one way or the other. I'm indifferent to it.
Okay.
Don't care if they do it or not, but it will be banned now.
Well, let's get into the discussion then, since we brought it up. Should court storming be permanently banned is the debate that's going on all of our television. If you missed over the weekend, it's being shown to you by Forrester. In the process of Wake beating Duke, which Wake was the favorite to win the basketball game.
Normally you don't get a court storm when you're the favorite, do you?
When you're playing Duke, you do.
So you're saying you do not think that his knee is injured at all?
I think it got tweaked, yeah. But, I mean, you would think that he stepped on a landmine the way he was acting.
I don't know how you could say, though,
don't
how severe you think the injury is. I mean,
on the overhead view, which we don't have, it's ESPN.
And for him coming out and saying it's intentional, and now John Shire's come out, he thinks it was intentional.
Oh, I don't know that it was intentional. I don't know that you could say that, but I mean, it looked pretty severe.
It did not look that severe. When I got, I couldn't really tell on the first one that you saw is this one right here, where you're seeing like the upper camera shot,
right?
And you can't really get a good gauge, and I just assume, but when you see the overhead, it doesn't look nearly as bad.
Yeah. The first guy who he sort of defends himself on, that guy, and then...
he runs straight into his knee, Lance. I mean, it's like his foot is planted and the guy goes square into his knee. I thought it looked pretty severe.
You're quick to call flop on a lot of
I don't
things.
think you call this one a flop. Now, the Caitlin Clark girl, she flopped a little bit. This was, the guy, his foot is on the ground, and the guy runs straight into his knee from the side.
I don't know. We'll see.
What are we going to see?
Well, we'll see if he's playing or not. I don't think he's going to lay out just because he flopped. I mean, if he's got a severe injury, we're not going to see.
Well, I don't know how severe it is, but I'm going to stop short of calling it a flop there. I mean, the guy runs right into the side of his knee.
I don't know how injured he is, so I won't get into a debate with you on the injury. On the court storming things, The Athletic did a poll, and the fans who read The Athletic, 81% of them want to ban this. It should be pointed out that it is banned in the SEC, and we still get court storming.
Yeah.
Banning it doesn't do anything.
You cannot do anything to keep the students from storming the court. There's really nothing you can do outside of building a wall.
If you make it a criminalized act, if you start actually taking people in and charging $500 for a citation or something, kids aren't going to storm the court if they're going to get arrested.
But did you see how many kids are on that court? They don't have a jail big enough.
No, I get that, but all it takes is one or two.
Ooh, I don't know, man. Kids make
for the record, I don't care. Like, you can storm the courts.
Yeah.
Like, I understood Creighton had never beaten a number one, so when they beat UConn, the kids were excited. I don't understand why Wake. I'm going to assume Wake, with some of the great teams they had back in the day with Randolph Childress and Tim Duncan, those guys probably have beaten a number one on their court. Duke was number 8 coming into this game.
Yeah, and Wake was the favorite. I wanted to get bigger into this, so we'll keep it going on the other side, this court storming, because we're up against the break here. The show being brought to you in part by our friends at Precision Sports. Precision Sports, getting you back into your game. Unless you flop, then you don't need Precision Sports. But if you don't flop, if you're actually hurt, then Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics can help you out. 205-512-3885, 512-3885, precisionsportsortho.com/2024. Tweak your shoulder, putting up, the yard work, the tools, getting your yard ready for spring, injured an elbow while playing pickleball, anything in between, they can get you back in the game. Orthopedic care better together in 2024. Just go to precisionsportsortho.com/2024, precisionsportsortho.com/2024.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at Scott Forrester TV.
Sports fans, Alabama State Senate will soon decide if you get the right to vote on a lottery, casinos, and sports betting. But they need to hear from you. Did you know Alabama is one of only 12 states where you can't legally bet on sports? House Bill 151 allows you to choose whether you can place a bet on the big game this weekend. Call your state senator today. Tell them to vote yes on the lottery and gaming bill. For more information, go to sportsbettingalliance.org. It's paid for by the Sports Betting Alliance. Again, sportsbettingalliance.org.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from the Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
Did you know that colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in America and that it affects men and women equally? If you're older than 45, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, treatable, and beatable, but early detection is the key. For more information, please visit us. Go to rumpshakerinc.org. Also, 6th Annual Rump Shaker 5K coming up Saturday, March 23rd at Regents Field. You can register online, rumpshakerinc.org.
Tournament time is almost here, but any time is a great time to jump on with MyBookie.ag. When you sign up at MyBookie.ag, use code NEXTROUND for a special sign-on bonus. You can use that bonus right away. Win once with it, it is yours and yours forever. Not like some of the sites that make you win 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times before you keep the bonus. You win once at MyBookie.ag, it is yours forever. Basketball tournaments, NBA, the start of Major League Baseball, NASCAR, and golf. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
More on the the court storming that's going on. Big news over the weekend, by the way, in the coaching circles. Eric Bieniemy to UCLA as the offensive coordinator. Big hire for Deshaun Foster there. They want to run a pro-style offense there at UCLA. I would imagine Bieniemy's going to give you a little bit of the Andy Reid flavor.
Yeah, I got Bieniemy coming up in 4 downs based on this new position for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for Deshaun Foster, such an unknown. I mean, that's a guy, if I would have told you last year at this time, you know what, UCLA's next coach within the year is going to be Deshaun Foster, you'd be like, where in the hell is Deshaun Foster?
Well, or if you'd have told me next year Deshaun Foster and Eric Bieniemy are going to be coaches at UCLA, I would have said, Eric Bieniemy got a head coaching job.
That's right.
The surprising thing is Deshaun Foster. Yeah.
Deshaun Foster is the former UCLA Bruin, sort of the face of the program.
Yeah.
Bieniemy's the guy who's got the coaching chops there, so that was pretty interesting there. Our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing, Greg from Pell City, 205-542-3531. Greg will get on your roof, give you a free no-cost roof inspection. Fantastic guy here. A-plus rated with the Better Business Bureau. He and his wife own the company, locally owned for over 20 years. Any roof issue that you have, whether it's getting old and you need to find out whether it's time for a new roof. Most common thing I've heard Greg say to our customers is, Greg, I think I need a new roof. Give me that free no-cost roof inspection. Greg gets up there and says, We can replace it if you want to, but I think you got 4 more years in that roof. People are blown away that Greg will get on the roof with a free no-cost roof inspection and then not try to steal money from them. He just gives you an honest-to-God response. He's just a down, trustworthy guy. Greg from Pell City on Facebook. Check him out, 205-542-3531. It is Storm Restoration Roofing. Okay, now back to the court storming. The SEC fines, a lot of fines. And I grew up, an Alabama fan. So, we don't storm the field. We don't rush the court.
No, they have before. They've rushed the court before. But football, they don't.
It's been a long time. What was it, Florida in 2001?
Yeah, I think Florida, the Antoine Petway. So they've at least done it in basketball, but you're not going to see in football.
Just doesn't happen a lot.
No.
But I enjoy it.
By the way, it takes a lot of effort. I got no desire. I don't know about you guys.
No, I've got zero desire. Yeah.
Like I've been a student sitting in the stands, big wins. I have never had the desire to get out of my seat and run onto a field or onto a court.
I enjoy watching it happen, but a couple of times that I've been on the field, like at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, when it does happen, it can be scary because there are a lot of people running around in different directions. It's not like it's an organized, everybody's running straight in that way, or they're in uniform lines or even a formation. They are zigzagging and running in every different direction. And you can have two people running full speed different directions and they collide.
Yeah.
Or you can have players who are upset that they just lost the game, as we saw in the Alabama-Tennessee situation, where they do something. Or you can have a player injured, as we saw in the Duke game. A lot of things can happen. But it is one thing that, to me, separates college from pros. It's that excitement of the atmospheres, and that's just one added cherry on top. There's everyone's looking for this compromise, this perfect answer. I don't think there is one.
Well, there is nothing you can do to keep students from rushing the court. You can't make the fines big enough. There has been a suggestion that you lose your home game the next time you play that team. That's not going to stop the students from doing it. Now, what those things will do is it will force the host teams to up their security. If you start losing home games, you start paying big enough fines, you'll have a big enough security detail to at least prevent the incidents like we saw with Wake and Duke.
I think there's ways to deter students from rushing the court.
All right, what are they?
It's not financial.
Yeah, financial doesn't at all.
No, yeah, for the school. If it's financially, again, if you issue a citation, if somebody gets arrested, you fine them $500, or how about this? You're banned for the rest of the year from the game?
I don't think it'll stop it.
Oh, I think it would.
No, I don't think so. I think students...
Well, here's the thing. Students don't care about the SEC or home team spending their own money.
That's absolutely right. That's not stopping it. There's zero chance that stops it.
And so you're telling me, let's say the jungle at Auburn rushed the court, and you're saying if I was a student and I rushed the court, then I'm banned from going to the game the rest of the year?
Yeah.
You think Bruce Pearl wants those 2,500 students not at the next game?
But again, you're not going to be able to pull them all. It's not like all of them are going to be banned. You're probably going to be able to arrest 5 to 10 of these.
And that's why you won't stop the court rush, because there's going to be a ton of students that say, I'm not going to get called.
Yeah, but if you're one of the 5 or 10 and you have to pay a $500 fine and you're losing your ticket, that's a big deal.
That'll slow you down, but if I'm one of the couple hundred that got away with it, it hasn't stopped it at all.
Yeah, but you got to think.
They don't think. They're students. They don't think. They make choices all the time that carry criminal. They go out drunk and they get a public drunk hit. They drive drunk. They get DUIs. They make choices all the time.
There are people out there that can make the decision, do I want to snatch a purse today? And 95% I'll get away with this. I'm just taking the morals, the ethics out of it. But there's a good percentage of criminals that wouldn't go snatch a purse because if, in fact, they get caught, then they do time.
If Wake Forest had done their job, listen, the court storming is coming from the students. You know where it's coming from. If Wake Forest had done their job and they got the security guards out there with the ropes and they get the Duke players off safely, we're not even talking about this today.
You get the Duke players off safely, and then you let them come out on the court?
No, they're on the court, but you see it in basketball all the time where the security guards rope off the area where the handshake line is happening. It's coming from the students. You got to protect from where the students are coming from and keep them back. Yeah, and you can do that. It happens all the time.
But in that situation, though, they're storming, and Kyle
Filipowski, he's on the floor.
He's on the floor. He's not behind that rope at that point.
The rope surrounds. That's my point, Jim. It's coming from the students.
Right.
So you've got the security guard already where the students are seated. They've got the ropes out, and you can limit where they go.
I tase one.
Yeah, that'll probably get you a good lawsuit right there.
Well, not if you know. Hey, if you come on the court, you're subject to
it'll
tase.
get you a lawsuit whether you know or not. There's going to be a lawsuit.
Well, look, it'll get you a lawsuit if one of these kids would have run into Flip and they would have hurt themselves. They're probably going to sue the university.
They probably are.
Litigious society. I'm just saying, if one of these kids knew they were about to get shocked, knocked out, cattle prod them.
Yeah, again, what Lance is discovering is there are no good answers here. You're not going to stop this. You're just not going to stop it.
They haven't tried to deter it at all.
They have.
No, because it's on the university.
They've tried to deter it with fines and things like that, and the universities haven't done their part to up the security.
But why would the kids care if the university has to spend $100,000?
I'm not saying they will.
Yeah.
And so what I'm trying to tell you is the kids are never going to care.
No, they would, though, if it was on them.
They wouldn't. They would not.
They would. A lot more than they are.
No, I mean, you would take the risk. If I saw 10 people go out and it starts to be a flood, I'm going to assume I'm not one that gets called.
Because let me ask you this. Anna Kate goes to South Alabama.
She does.
If you know that she's going to rush the court or they're going to rush the court that night, but she's subject to a $500 fine, and you're like, hey, look, I'm not paying it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But, again, college kids make decisions all the time to do things that are subject to a $500 fine, and they know it's subject to a $500 fine.
They have never implemented anything like this before. I think it's worth at least the effort. The university paying anything doesn't matter. Put it on the kids.
So, in your mind, you could rope off. So let's workshop this.
I think it would be more difficult for them to get all of this security on hand and rope off the court than just say, hey, whoever gets caught, $500 and you're out for the season.
They do the security thing roping off all the time, and it works. I mean, I see it all the time on TV, and it works.
The full around the court?
You don't have to. You just do it where the students are sitting.
Yeah, but students kind of, I mean, there's one mass that they're typically, but they're still pieced all over.
Explain to me again, Brown, on your thing, because I do see the rope.
Yeah, all the time it happens.
Yeah, but the player that's not behind the rope, the students are rushing.
That's because security failed. Yeah, you've got to, wherever students are sitting, the security's got to be there with the rope.
And they keep the rope up until the players
That's absolutely right.
And then they move. Okay, that's what I was saying.
This has got to be more on the students.
You're restricting the court rush until the players are off the field.
You can never put it on the students.
Well, no, it should be more on the students than the university.
No, you could not be more incorrect on this.
These are
adults.
adults.
To be on the university.
They're adults.
They do stupid stuff all the time.
Well, they should have consequences.
Okay,
if a student robs the bank, what happens?
The one that's got to have consequences. The university's got to do that. They've got to force the consequences.
Implement. Yeah, right, exactly. So
that's
if
why
you
it's on the university.
Court, I'm giving you're getting a $500 fine.
So in your mind, Wake Forest storms the court. You let them storm the court, then security surrounds the court with a rope, and anybody that's in the rope's $500 fine.
No, whoever you can get a hold of.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you corral them.
Yeah,
you corral them, and you just
hog tie them. Put some zip ties on them.
There's only one way outside the rope, and that's with a $500 citation.
Our friends at Rump Shaker are back for a good cause, and they're coming to raise awareness during this month of colon cancer research.
Yeah, 16th annual Rump Shaker 5K. It's going to be Saturday, March 23rd at Regents Field. For more information and to register, rumpshakerinc.org. Did you know that colon cancer, second leading cause of cancer deaths in America, it affects men and women equally? If you're 45 or older, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, it's treatable, it's beatable. Early detection is the key. For more information, rumpshakerinc.org.
We flip the conversation to college football when we come back. The show being brought to you by our friends at the University of Montevallo, montevallo.edu, a wonderful place for your son or daughter to go to school. If you're a junior or senior in high school, starting to look at the University of Montevallo, look at that beautiful campus right there at Montevallo, montevallo.edu, montevallo.edu. Schedule an in-person tour and find out why you belong at Montevallo, montevallo.edu.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Legacy Credit Union has the ultimate game changer for your finances. With Engaged Checking, you can earn 3% APY on balances up to $15,000. You heard correctly, 3% APY. But it's not just about scoring with high yields. With Engaged Checking, you can get paid up to 2 days early. That means your paycheck, Social Security, tax refund, you name it, you get it early. So stop sitting on the sidelines and get in the game with Engaged Checking. Sign up today at legacycreditunion.com or visit any 9 Greater Birmingham area branches. APY is annual percentage yield. Terms and conditions may apply. See credit union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA.
This hour of the Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Hey, if you're looking for Birmingham's best pizza, you need to stop in and see our friends at Slice Pizza and Brew. It's as local as you can get, from the ingredients that go into every pizza to the beer on tap. For a great lunch or dinner, go see our friends today, Vestavia or Lakeview at Slice.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok. While we're changing the game yet again, Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the Intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of the next round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
You got to look your best to play your best, and our friends at Bandwagon can help your team find the perfect uniforms for that upcoming season. Bandwagon is with you every step of the way, from developing your team logo design to choosing from their multitude of samples. You name the sport, they can make it happen. To get your uniform journey started, you can shoot them a message on any social media platform or check out their website, bandwagonsports.com. That's bandwagonsports.com. Next round listeners, it's time to jump on the bandwagon.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Back to basketball, Richard Hendrix in 1 hour. He'll join us on the JohnsonRVCenter.com hotline. We'll talk to him about Alabama's disastrous lack of defensive performance at Rupp Arena. Auburn's big win over Georgia. Mississippi State's hot, by the way. They're trending in a good direction. And some other college basketball news. Congratulations to Samford. They're the SoCon champions again in the regular season. We'll see what Bucky and them can do when they try for that automatic bid in the SoCon tournament. UAB, a winner over Tulane. Big Wednesday night game against Wichita State down at Bartow for them coming up. And we're waiting to hear from the SEC on Alan Flanagan, who was ejected for a vicious elbow in the game over the weekend. Many people are expecting a suspension for Alan Flanagan. We'll see if that happens today. Ole Miss has Alabama Wednesday night over in Oxford. That's coming up. We'll get back to basketball in a moment. Right now, this hour of the show being brought to you by our friends right there at Odie's.
Odie's Tavern, 2 great locations. Fantastic weather this past weekend. Hopefully you had an opportunity to go sit outside on one of those great patios of Odie's Tavern, the original location in Crestline, now one in Homewood, the corner of Oxmoor and Broadway. Ice cold beer buckets full of Bud Light, incredible food from Rodney Davis for the last 3 decades. And of course, trivia every Wednesday night. Come join us this Wednesday, Crestline. And again, the newest location in Homewood, it's Odie's Tavern.
There's no correct answer to the question I'm going to ask.
Oh, my favorite kind.
Exactly. So, but I want to use your phrase from the last segment, one that I hear you use a lot up here as one of our business leaders. Let's workshop this a little bit.
I've never said
Let's workshop this a little.
I've never heard you say that.
You did it last segment.
In the last segment, but you say you use it up here a lot. I don't think I've ever used that phrase.
I don't think you have.
Let's workshop this a little bit. You would say that, this is from Stuart Mandel, who in his mailbag at The Athletic, was asked the question, who is going to be Kirby Smart's biggest SEC adversary now that Nick Saban is gone? Nick Saban had a great record against Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart's on top of the heap now. Who is going to be his biggest adversary? So let's workshop this a little bit. We don't know the correct answer, right? Time will tell. Let's start with his rivals. Georgia's two biggest rivals are Florida and Auburn. Let's go Florida first. Billy Napier. On Billy Napier to Kirby Smart, can Billy Napier grow into being an adversary of Kirby Smart?
Absolutely not. I think we'll be talking about a new head coach at Florida this time next year, at this time probably in December. So this is just a moment in time, and this is going to be another chapter that closes for Florida football, and Billy Napier is not on Kirby Smart's radar at all.
Yeah, better chance that he never beats Kirby Smart than he's Kirby Smart's adversary.
Yeah, how many times have they played now? Is it just 2?
Yeah.
So he's 0-2.
He's 0-2. He'll get a
0-3.
third chance. He's likely going to be 0-3, and that may be his last chance.
Okay, and then there's Hugh Freeze, who's just getting going at Auburn. That's their other big rival in the SEC on an annual basis. Can Hugh Freeze become the adversary that Nick Saban was?
I would say not that Nick Saban was. I would say that Hugh is a guy that can, every 3 years, every 4 years beat Kirby. I don't feel confident. I love Hugh Freeze as a head coach. I think he's a really, really good head coach. I just don't like where he is right now with Peyton Thorne. Now, maybe he proves us all wrong, and Peyton Thorne's an outstanding quarterback next year. But I don't see this Auburn team beating this Georgia team. But I do think they've got a better chance of being Thorne inside than Florida.
But keep in mind that being an adversary, not just beating him on the field, it involves recruiting too, Brownie.
Do you know the last time Auburn has won back-to-back games against Georgia? Give me the years if you know them.
Is this like back-to-back 10-win seasons?
Oh, I would think
a little bit, yeah.
I would think this is like 99, 2000.
You went a little too far back.
Oh, I was going to go Stan White.
No. It's 05, 04. 04, 05.
04, 05.
That's not far, though. It's almost 20 years.
Tommy Tuberville.
04, 05. Tommy Tuberville. And since then, Auburn has won 3 total games in that series.
Yeah.
Since 05, they've won 3 total games?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I think
it's been
Hugh
dominated
will
by
do a
Georgia.
little bit better than that.
Yeah.
But as far as the recruiting thing, I don't think Auburn's going to take – Georgia's going to get what they want.
Okay, there's no East anymore, which I think is going to make things a lot more interesting for Georgia moving forward. There's no East anymore. So the next step, you would say, is who impacts their recruiting the most. Let's go with the other big contenders right now in the SEC. The other contenders would be Alabama. They would be LSU.
They would be Texas.
And they'd be Oklahoma, I would say. Well, let's just stop at Texas.
Yeah, look.
So Alabama, LSU, Texas.
Yeah, and you wonder about Tennessee. Where is Heupel?
Yeah.
Are we ever going to get the Heupel that we saw in 2022, or is it going to be more what we saw last year in 2023?
Let's save Heupel for the others. Let's go to the 3 big contenders, Alabama, LSU, Texas.
DeVore is obviously a new coach. It is not going to stop them from trying to recruit in the state of Georgia. You can't. You cannot stop that. There's so many great players in the state of Georgia. Everybody's trying to recruit there. How successful will they be remains to be seen. And I do find that very interesting. How well does this staff recruit in the state of Georgia, if you want to talk in terms of recruiting?
Right.
That will determine a lot of that. Georgia and Alabama historically, with Smart there, have gone head-to-head for a lot of really good players in the state of Georgia.
And I think that was the difference between Nick Saban's time in Tuscaloosa and any other Alabama coach, including Bear Bryant, was I think Nick Saban recruited Georgia better than any other Alabama coach ever.
I would agree. And he won a lot of those head-to-heads. I don't know, Lance, what the total record was. I can't sit here and tell you Saban won more head-to-head battles with Kirby in Georgia than Kirby won with Saban. I really don't know the answer, but I know Saban won some.
Biggest problem was Saban, and I think his biggest problem moving forward is going to be Kalen DeBoer, and I think it's going to be Brian Kelly, and then I would put Sarkisian, that third guy.
So you'll have Kalen DeBoer still?
Yeah.
Now, again, they don't play every year. They're going to play this year, obviously, but Georgia and Alabama will not face each other every year, but they'll face each other consistently, more so than they used to, especially if they expand the SEC schedule.
Yeah,
but Saban and Georgia didn't play each other every year, and Saban still dominated that series.
Yeah, and it's not just Kalen DeBoer. It's also the Alabama brand where it is right now. It's going to take a lot to make this brand completely fall off.
Yeah, and they border each other, so, that does factor into it because Texas does seem so far away, right?
Yeah, and if you're a Georgia fan, let's just take Kirby away. If you're a Georgia fan, you've still got to be fearful of Alabama because Georgia at their best still, year in, year out, wasn't typically as good as Alabama, at least when they met on the field.
Now, all the others, including Josh Heupel, it's probably Heupel or Lane Kiffin, right? But probably Heupel of all the others, that would be his biggest thorn.
Yeah, probably.
He's again,
traditionally Tennessee's been a better program than Ole Miss. Heupel, I don't know.
He hasn't beaten him. That's what makes it tough.
I think
right?
Heupel's was Heupel's 22 season better than Lane Kiffin's 23? I think it was, yeah. I've seen Heupel have better seasons than Lane.
So Tennessee has won twice in that series since 2010. So they won 2009, and in 2010, Georgia won 5 straight. Tennessee won back-to-back in 15 and 16, and since then they have not won another one. Now, I mean, that's pretty good domination. I mean, when you start looking at this, and that's why, for Hugh Freeze and Auburn, it's going to take something to turn that domination, obviously, and I would say the same of Heupel in Georgia, or Heupel in Tennessee, excuse me. It's hard for me to believe. I'm waiting to see still on Heupel. I mean, he's been better than I thought. I'll go ahead and admit that, right? I said it was a terrible hire. Yeah, the one good year Lance is talking about. I'm not saying in terms of hot seat. I'm just saying in terms of image of a coach. Wouldn't you say this next year is pretty big for Heupel?
I think it is, because I think you want to see, is it more what we saw this year or what we saw a couple of years ago? But they were so quiet this year, and they still won 9 games.
They did, but
I just didn't think they were good, and they still popped up and won 9 games in the SEC.
But if this year is, say, an 8-4, which is possible, now it could also be an 11-1, right? But if it's an 8-4, I'm probably going to lean more towards, he caught lightning in a bottle with Hendon Hooker one year, and he's more of a 7, 8, 9 win coach.
Yeah, but I mean, we probably would say that about Kiffin too, right?
He's at least had the 2 10-win seasons. But
the difference is Heupel, in 2022 when he won, he beat teams of substance.
He did. He had better wins than what Kiffin has had at Ole Miss.
Do you need an adversary?
No. You don't have to have one. I mean, Gonzaga.
Mark Few's never had one.
Who's been his?
Yeah.
The NCAA tournament. That's who's been his adversary.
Look, when Dabo was at his height, Clemson didn't have one.
Yeah, they never really had one of the ACC at least.
Yeah, but you've now named me 2 things that have dropped off. Clemson did it really fast, and Gonzaga's dropped off.
Yeah, I do think, I'll go back.
But I don't think Georgia's going to drop off.
I know, but do you need an adversary to sort of keep that sword sharpened?
Yeah, I think you do. I would say, yeah. I mean, initially I gave you the example of Gonzaga, but I think you need an adversary. I think you absolutely do.
I don't think you have to, because I think it's a little bit different, because when we're talking about Mark Few, the West Coast Conference, there weren't good teams. St. Mary's kind of hovered around.
But his adversary was national respect.
But when you talk about Dabo, there wasn't that team out there. I think the adversary is going to be the SEC. I mean, you've got 15 other teams. You've got the best conference in the world. And so I think year in, year out, that's what's going to keep you sharp.
Yeah, in that case, you don't have a singular adversary, but you've got an overall adversary.
Yeah, and you've got target on back every year if you're Georgia.
Yeah, and I think I would probably agree with Lance. His adversary is going to be having to do it in the toughest conference that's ever been created.
But we know Kirby a little bit.
Yeah.
He seems like the kind of guy who likes to have an adversary.
Oh, I would agree.
Right?
Well, I think any competitor does. I don't think any competitor just wants to coast. I think they want to be challenged some, right?
I think you want to wake up and there's...
Like, given the choice...
You're chasing excellence, your greatness, but there's also, I want to go kick that guy's ass.
Like, given the choice with Mark Few, do you think Mark Few would have preferred the West Coast Conference be what it was the last 20 years? Or the West Coast Conference have 3 or 4 teams that were competing for a 7 or better seed?
Oh, I think he would have. I think he would have liked. I think he'd like to have had those teams in the Big 12.
So much so that they looked like they were shopping even to go to the Big East, right? Just give us a better conference.
Well, and I think if you would have had that with Mark Few, who knows? Maybe they're more battle tested and they go deeper. I mean, look, I know you can only go so far, and they played for national championships twice, but you wonder if that would have been the difference that could have gotten them over the hump.
I think in his honest moments, Dabo would probably have told you he'd rather the ACC had been stronger. Now, he won national championships with a weekend ACC.
That's right. But Nick Saban was sort of his adversary.
A little bit, yeah, but you didn't face him till the national championship game or the playoffs. But I think if Dabo were being honest with you, he would have told you, going to play in Raleigh, North Carolina, and Winston-Salem, North Carolina,
Syracuse on a Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, just places like that. He would much rather have had to run the gauntlet of an SEC.
LT's about to give us 4 downs here in just a second and tell us about Slice. Before that, very important for you guys to remember that this month or any month's a good time to check in with your urologist and check on your health. As men, as you get older, there's a lot of things that can happen, and Urology Centers of Alabama can keep everything in check. UCA has 35 urologists, 16 locations across the great state of Alabama for all your urological needs, prostate health to kidney stones and everything in between. Get checked out today, Urology Centers of Alabama. has a website for you, urologycentersalabama.com, urologycentersalabama.com. Schedule that appointment today, urologycentersalabama.com. And our friends at Slice bring you 4 downs. Tell us about our great friends at Slice. I don't know when this Lent is over with, but I am craving some pizza.
That'd be Easter.
Oh, long way away.
Pizza. So have you made it so far?
So far, so good, man. It's,
no bread.
No bread. It's hard.
And pizza's the thing you're craving the most.
No bread, no waffles, no pancakes. I think I'm
no burger.
No burger. Maggie was worried.
No bueno
about me eating. I didn't eat a lot, but I ate some steaks while I was done. Didn't eat a lot on Tuesday, but I ate a lot on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
4 great locations, soon to be that 5th location. We'll give you more information on the newest location in Homewood of Slice. Local pizza, local ingredients. The Bajalia Brothers, get in. Tell them the next round sent you from the Hot Mama all the way to the Soul Pie. You're going to love it. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
Bigger fall, Eric Bieniemy, now the offensive coordinator at UCLA. Would have thought by now for sure would be an NFL head coach, or Ed Orgeron, who's probably waking up, I don't know, in a villa somewhere on a beach.
The bigger fall is Ed Orgeron.
I think I would agree.
Even though he got a big paycheck to walk away, he's out of something he loved doing, which was coaching. And, people always say Gene Chiswick's, though, I forget, I'm not giving him some credit, but somebody on Twitter goes, give me the worst coach ever to win a national championship. I'll go first, Gene Chiswick. That's always an easy take to make. If you did not cover that Auburn team in 2010, it took a Gene Chiswick-like mentality to navigate all the pitfalls that year with everyone trying to crash Cam Newton's eligibility. And I thought Gene Chiswick was right time, right place for the mental aspect of leading that team. I would make a case Ed Orgeron may be the worst coach ever to win a national championship.
I think it's kind of easy, Eric Bieniemy, because Bieniemy was a guy, I would say that he's probably been interviewed by half the NFL. Yeah. A lot of people believed, as good as Andy Reid was, maybe Bieniemy was the secret ingredient that really got Mahomes and that Chiefs offense over the hump. Now that he's been out, the Chiefs win another championship. Bieniemy goes from possibly a head coach to getting fired to now an offensive coordinator with what is viewed as a team that won't be able to win in the Big Ten. I mean, their head coach just took a coordinator position himself.
I think this is his move to the college game to where he's going to replace Deion Sanders at Colorado.
His old school.
Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah. He was in the conversation before Deion took the job. Yeah. But to me, Ed Orgeron, it was a moment in time. You say he loved coaching. I think there was a point when he did. But when he got that payout, I think he was good to tap out and say, see ya.
Well, a lot of people say leading up to the payout that he loved the celebrity. I mean, there were some articles that came out that showed maybe he was loving the celebrity a little bit more than he was loving the coaching. I will say Ed Orgeron. That guy went from national championship coach to fired very, very, very quickly.
To constant jogger, shirtless jogger.
Yeah.
That's what he is now.
He is that.
Second down.
More wins in 2024. Chargers regular season under Harbaugh, or Alabama regular season and postseason under DeBoer.
Oh, I get postseason too?
You do.
Jimmy, Alabama, assuming they're in the postseason.
I mean, if Alabama could win 11 games and it not even be like a great season, right? 10-win regular season gets you in the playoffs. You win a playoff game, lose a playoff game. It's 11 wins.
Yeah, 11-3 at that point.
Yeah, 11-3 at the end of the year.
Or 11-4 if you lost the SEC.
Yeah, depending on how all that falls. Yeah. I mean, 11 wins for the Chargers in this day's AFC. That's a lot to ask. I mean, again, I know Harbaugh is thought to be a better coach than what Herbert has had, but I'll remind everyone, Justin Herbert is now 30-33 as a starter. The guy is the epitome of a 500 quarterback.
Yeah, and Kansas City's still in that division, right?
They are. They're not leaving.
Yeah.
Peyton's year 2.
Peyton year 2. Russell Wilson probably won't be the quarterback. We'll find out a lot combine this week.
We'll see what Antonio Pierce is. He injected some enthusiasm in that franchise.
I mean, they were a tough out. The Raiders were.
At the end, but we'll see if that carries over to when he's the full time.
They've got quarterback, but they got a lot of old parts. I'm going to say more wins at Alabama with DeBoer.
Yeah, I'll take DeBoer at Alabama. It's going to be close, but I think 11 wins a lot to ask for
I'm going to lean DeBoer just because bottom could fall out if Herbert gets hurt. I mean, that season's over.
Third down.
Michael Bolton, 71 years old today. Better career, Michael Irvin or Michael Bolt?
Michael Irvin.
Michael Irvin, because he was an original. Michael Bolton covered at least the one album I played when the ladies would come over to
You got them out.
What did they run for the door?
What was
There were claw marks. You would have done better with chloroform.
What was the apartment complex?
Ski Lodge?
No, the ones that I lived in first. You in?
Hunters Point.
Hunters Point.
Yeah. I was trying to explain to Jack
how cool
I was
that
like,
used to be.
Your grandmother used to live there. I used to live there. Yeah.
Mr. Jim, who's somewhere in between, used to live there.
Those were hot back in the day.
It was. And now keep in mind, this would have been 1992 Rockstar. So he had some album out in the late 80s, early 90s.
When a Man Loves a Woman, right?
Yeah, that's a cover.
That was his biggest one.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just going to pull up the Michael Bolton.
Bunch of covers.
No talent, ass clown.
Horrible.
Oh, you think you call it that?
That's
Rockstar?
that's what they said in Office Space.
That's
horrible.
Right. Michael Bolton, just on Apple Music, his top songs. How Am I Supposed to Live Without You? That is a cover, right?
How am I supposed to live without you?
I think Leanne Rimes redid it. Maybe?
Oh, she covered it. Yeah.
How do I live with?
Oh, that's true. When a Man Loves a Woman, Jack Sparrow featuring Michael Bolton. I mean, these are so bad. When a Man Loves a Woman remix. Yeah, I'm going to say Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin's a Hall of Famer, man. The guy would go over the middle in any game.
Yeah.
Gave up his body for the Dallas Cowboys.
Made Troy Aikman.
The playmaker. Yeah, give me Michael Irvin.
4th down.
Johnny Cash would have been 92. Johnny Cash, Johnny Carson.
Now, I'm a big Johnny Cash fan. This is a difficult question. Johnny Carson created a genre of television that was one of the biggest genres of television for a very, very long time. It has badly fallen off now to the point it's pretty obsolete. But it was a massive genre for a long time.
I agree, but Johnny Cash was one of these crossover guys.
I know.
And really brought country music on the scene when country wasn't popular with some of the other demographics
I love Johnny Cash. This is a hard question.
I don't think Carson invented it, but he perfected it. He perfected it.
Steve Allen did. Steve Allen, according to Jay Leno.
But he perfected it.
Yeah.
And
I thought Larry Sanders perfected it.
Carson was really good at doing interviews, but was uber talented, did a lot of other things.
But also
on the
him
show.
having comedians like that would make your career. Your Tonight Show spot was immediately like Steve Martin said. Like if you did it the next day, people at the dry cleaners saying, "I saw you last night."
Yeah, did anybody ever bomb that segment? Because
I'm
you
sure.
think about how much pressure that had
The bomb
to be.
was whenever he didn't invite you.
Yeah.
If he thought you were funny enough, he didn't invite you on the couch.
That's what
Like,
they said.
Come
Was like,
talk to me.
yeah, the big thing for a comedian was you finished the segment, he'd wave you over, and you knew you had done it.
Yeah, and if he didn't, you probably wanted to walk in the trap.
Probably so.
Look at Johnny. Did you say something? You didn't?
Yeah, Johnny, you didn't wave, Johnny.
I can't see. You're in the shadows.
I mean, I wonder how many people said no to come on his show. I bet it was, if any, very, very few turned that down.
If you had anxiety, I bet people were probably like, I just
But nobody
can't
turned it
handle
down because they thought they were too big.
No.
But like presidents would say, Johnny Carson puts America to sleep, right? In a good way. Like
in a
it's
good
the
way.
last thing you see before you go to bed.
Yeah,
everybody would watch Carson.
That's a tough one, man. I would probably go. Man, Johnny Cash had a good long run too. Even near his death, Rockstar. Some of that late stuff he released was really good.
That Heart video was just one of the saddest things I've ever seen.
For years we delayed by 30 minutes airing the Tonight Show here in Birmingham.
So, like, you guys would do your news live?
Oh, it was before I was there.
Oh.
It was live. It was live.
Johnny Carson went into the 90s now.
It was live, and then it was turn and watch MASH, and then they'd play the Tonight Show after MASH. So they would take that late local avail to make some cash. You would appreciate that, LT, with MASH replay, and then play the Tonight Show. 30 minutes
but that's
later,
how you officially knew you were old, is if you were in bed watching both MASH and the Tonight Show.
But I would tell you, there was not much of a side benefit to being a sick kid, but being a sick kid that was up at night, you could watch a little bit of Johnny Carson. My parents had it on, you know?
And it was...
at the time, racy.
Real risque, man. Risque.
I mean, you look back now and it was nothing, but as a kid, I felt like I was watching something I shouldn't watch.
Yeah. That's our 4 downs today, brought to you by our friends at Slice LT.
Yeah, stop in, get a slice and a salad today. 4 great locations, the original in Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park, and coming soon to Homewood. Get in and see the Bajaia brothers. Tell them the next round sent you. SliceBirmingham.com for more information.
All right, and while we're talking Montevallo, one location of Slice there, the University of Montevallo. I'll tell you again about a great opportunity you have with them. to check out their university. Just go to their website, montevallo.edu. Could be the perfect place for your son or daughter. 23 NCAA Division II fully funded scholarship sports and this beautiful campus that can provide a path to your future right there. As you see with the great video, new buildings going up, now a nursing school at the University of Montevallo. They're adding a nursing school in the future. You can apply online and get more details. Montevallo.edu, montevallo.edu.
Never miss anything Auburn. Watch Village Vice at Wardam Pods on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Did you know that colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in America and that it affects men and women equally? If you're older than 45, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, treatable, and beatable, but early detection is the key. For more information, please visit us. Go to rumpshakerinc.org. Also, 6th annual Rump Shaker 5K coming up Saturday, March 23rd at Regents Field. You can register online, rumpshakerinc.org.
Let me introduce you to the new line of Red Wing athletic work shoes. This great new line is perfect for the industrial athlete, the guy who is working on concrete or running through the warehouse all day long. Red Wing Athletics use the same technology found in a running shoe, with soft mesh uppers, a lightweight aluminum toe for protection, and non-slip soles. This shoe is a winner. This comfortable new line of safety shoes are perfect for warehousing and light manufacturing. Plus, the colors look great. Stop by your local Red Wing shoe store, have your feet measured, and test drive a new pair of Red Wing athletic work shoes.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Sports fans, Alabama State Senate will soon decide if you get the right to vote on a lottery, casinos, and sports betting. But they need to hear from you. Did you know Alabama is one of only 12 states where you can't legally bet on sports? House Bill 151 allows you to choose whether you can place a bet on the big game this weekend. Call your state senator today. Tell them to vote yes on the lottery and gaming bill. For more information, go to sportsbettingalliance.org. It's paid for by the Sports Betting Alliance. Again, sportsbettingalliance.org.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by, ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
What are you waiting for? It's non-stop gaming action at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Come play more than 900 of the latest and greatest games around, featuring fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. There are more ways to win at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Birmingham Racecourse Casino, located off I-459 exit 31 Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older.
Feeling here. Alabama, Wisconsin, Camp Randall. Night game CBS.
As part of their Big Ten package?
Yes.
So you're going to get Brad and Gary that quick again, huh?
Yeah. That's my gut feeling. Because I just assumed it would be big noon kickoff with Klatt and them. But
what else is that day?
I think there is more. There's another big game that day.
Well, I hope it's not if we're going. Are we still planning on going?
I'm going to be there. Y'all don't have to go with me, but I'm going to be there. I've always wanted to go to a game there. I want to see jump around. What better time to go than when one of our teams is playing up there?
Do we want to go with tickets or do we want to go credentialed?
I'd rather go tickets.
Okay.
Yeah, credentialed.
We're going to need our friends with ATIX.
That'll be fine. We can find tickets up there. So have you looked ahead at this?
I have, but it was back on Thursday, and I was
Were you
high on NyQuil.
But you did not find the other game that you thought that they would play?
I did. It felt like USC had a big game that day.
Well, that could be also a CBS night game. Let's look at the Big Ten. I'm just going to look at the Big Ten.
It seemed like Fox had another game that they would show that day.
Okay. That day, Alabama plays Wisconsin. You got Central Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, UCLA, Troy, Iowa, Maryland, Virginia, Arkansas State, Michigan. Stop me when I get to the big game, okay? Louisiana, Michigan State, Nevada, Minnesota, Northern Iowa, Nebraska, the Civil War, the Apple Cup, and Notre Dame, Purdue. There is not a good game that day. So their other opportunity would be Big 12, right? Is that still this year for Big Noon?
I don't know.
Well, let's just see. Big 12, West Virginia, Pitt, Air Force, Baylor, Colorado State, Rice, Houston, UNLV, Kansas, Arizona, Kansas State, Cincinnati, Miami, Central Florida, TCU, Arizona State, Texas State, North Texas, Texas Tech, Oklahoma State, Tulsa, Utah State, BYU, Wyoming. There is not another close pick. I mean, they make that pick in the preseason.
Yeah, so Alabama, Wisconsin, 11 a.m., you're booking it?
I mean, did you hear another game?
What is that the 14th?
It's week 3.
Yeah, week 3, yeah. I mean, there's nothing, Jim. There is absolutely nothing. You heard those games, Big 12 and Big 10. I don't even know if CBS has got one to show
Big
now.
Noon kick would suck, though.
At 11 a.m.?
Yeah, I mean, if we actually go to the game, yeah.
Why?
That's just an early game. I mean, Madison's supposed to be a great college town. I mean, if we're going to...
Well, why don't you do it different? Instead of leaving at halftime, why don't you show up at halftime?
Well, yeah, I could do that. I wouldn't leave at halftime of that game, but I just
You got to see jump around. That's the whole reason you're there.
I've always said, as a fan, the best game for me were those 2:30 kicks. Second best game, a night primetime kick, and the worst is by far 11 o'clock.
Our friends at Gutter Cap bringing you our football conversation today.
Yeah, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. Our man, Chris Stewart, will come out and give you an absolutely free estimate. They'll clean the gutters one final time. You'll never have to clean them again. They'll put that patented aluminum cover system over the existing gutter. It will keep all debris out. It will keep the gutters clean and free-flowing. The answer, always Gutter Cap. Don't get on the roof. You slip and fall, snap the neck and die. No good to the wife or kids. Call 823-2212. That's 205-823-2212 or guttercapbirmingham.com.
Has C. Stu ever sang a little Bib DeVoe? Slip it and slap it?
Probably. He's more of an 80s guy, though.
He is?
Yeah.
I tell you.
So from the Tubes to Eddie Money, I mean, he'll give you whatever 80s you want to Warrior.
I never hear Walking in Memphis and don't think of C. Stu, though.
Every time.
Every time I hear that song, like I think somebody's covering it, it was C. Stu's original.
I was reminded that it's this thing that's hanging out there, and I don't want to make Alabama fans go into seizures today, but I'm going to say it anyway. Texas A&M DB Jacoby Matthews is in the portal, or will be in April. Big 6'2 safety from A&M, from Louisiana. LSU's the favorite to get him. That's not what's going to send you there. He can't really be in the portal until April 16th.
Okay.
That next portal window's coming, April 16th through April the 30th.
Got a good month and a half to worry about that.
Yeah, but it's going to be an active portal time as it is. Maybe not as active as the first one. But you've got those 14 days coming out on the horizon where players are going to be able to leave again coming up.
Well, you were at least, so you're saying the portal was what was going to give Alabama fans anxiety.
Yeah, I mean,
well,
we're just coming off of the last one,
No, but the last one you were not on an equal playing field. On this one, you'll be on an equal playing field.
Import-export.
Import-export. It was hard to import. You were almost fully export on the last one. So at least on this one, now, Alabama may still leak oil in this next portal. I don't know. But at least on this one, you're on the same playing field as everybody else. It's a level playing field. On the last one, everybody could come get your players, and you could get almost nobody's players. I mean, it was not an even playing field.
Yeah, like the ability to get the Michigan safety the other day, Keon Sabb, to come to Tuscaloosa. That's a guy who, or is it Saab like the car? I think it's Sabb. For him to come to Alabama when Michigan's window opened up was a good import for the secondary. Got some experience playing in a position group where Alabama ended up losing a lot of talent.
But the only reason he's available is Jim Harbaugh took the Chargers job. If Jim Harbaugh doesn't take the Chargers job, that kid's not available until the second go-around like you're talking about right there. And you may still get him. But, I mean, at least in this situation, Alabama will be on an even playing field with everyone else.
Have you noticed how excited Jalen Milroe has been about this coaching change? And our buddy Matt Hayes, Saturday Down South, made the point why you may be seeing such a happy Jalen Milroe. Keep in mind, last year, you had Tommy Rees, young quarterback coach, young offensive coordinator, And now you've got Kalen DeBoer and Nick Sheridan. Nick's been with DeBoer at Indiana and Washington. And you know Kalen DeBoer's track record very well. But for those that don't remember, recruited Michael Penix Jr., but when he inherited him at Washington, Michael Penix Jr. was coming off 4 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Sort of refound the Michael Penix Jr. he had at Indiana for 1 year and now has him at the NFL Combine. But before that, what he did with a guy named Jake Haener at Fresno State impressed you back in the day with Kalen DeBoer at Fresno State and what Haener was able to turn into at Fresno.
Oh, look, and Haener, ultimately gets drafted by the Saints. But watching, I'll never forget, I think it was week 1 or week 2 of the 21 season.
After the pandemic, right?
Yeah, and it was when Tommy Firestick had finally loaded me up on the Back-12 Network, but it wasn't working downstairs because it kept buffering, so I had to go upstairs to watch the end of Fresno and UCLA, and Haener was limping around on one leg and just making incredible plays on a game-winning drive, and he's just always had really good quarterback play.
And that's Matt's point. If you forget Michael Penix Jr., who you think he is now, go back and look what DeBoer did with Jake Haener at Fresno, and just imagine if you've got Jalen Milroe's skill set, and now with a coach who can develop quarterbacks maybe better than Tommy Rees was able to do last year.
Well, his track record says.
And how much more Jalen Milroe could grow this year.
Well, I mean, I think you just need to, beyond Haener, look at Michael Penix. Now, some of what I'm about to say with Michael Penix, probably most of what I'm about to say with Michael Penix was injury-related, Lance. But Michael Penix had a really good year under Kalen DeBoer, and then he tailed off a lot at Indiana. Now, a lot of that was injury-related.
Yeah. I mean, he had both knees.
But when he reunited with Kalen DeBoer, what happened to him? He picked right back up where he was at Indiana. It was wild. Everybody was surprised by it.
Well, not even close. He went from a really good Big Ten quarterback to an elite quarterback.
To a guy that's going to be a first-round draft pick. I mean, everybody was stunned by that. Now, some of that, again, that was not just that he lost DeBoer. He battled serious injuries. But the times he played under DeBoer, this guy was a completely different player.
Some of that
so
is
he's
system.
got a history of quarterbacks.
Some of that system, but Kalen DeBoer has said many times since he took the job in Tuscaloosa, he can change his offense to fit his personnel. And Jalen Milroe brings something to the table that he can work with. And I know he's got Austin Mack, a guy he really likes a lot that he brought with him from Washington. But there is a chance you see Milroe shift into another gear this year because of DeBoer and what he's able to do with this. I go back to what Jake Haener turned into. Well, he was a Washington guy, right? And went to Fresno from Washington. Yep. So he was given up on at the power level and went down to play for DeBoer at Fresno State.
How many quarterbacks right now on the fly would you take in front of Jalen Milroe in the SEC going into this year? I mean, it's not going to be a lot, but
no, Carson Beck.
Yep.
Probably Quinn Ewers.
Yep.
And that's where I would slide in.
Yeah, I mean, then you start talking about Jackson Dart. Where are you on Dart? We haven't seen enough of Nussmeier.
I've seen one game of Nico, so I'm not ready to go there yet.
Brady Cook's good.
Yeah, I don't know that. I would take him in front of Milroe.
I think it's worth debating though.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's easy to say you've got somewhere in the top 5 quarterback in the SEC already that you're taking over.
Yeah, he's in the conversation to be at 3 or above.
Yeah. Well, probably 3 or below. I don't know about above. I think.
I would say 3 to 5. Like he's not going to fall farther.
No, he wouldn't fall farther than 5. So he's 3 to 5. Could he improve to be above 3? Absolutely.
Well, that's my point. I think we know how good Carson Beck can be. I think we know how good Quinn Ewers can be. Well, I don't think we know how good Jalen Milroe can be yet.
If at the end of the season, if Milroe is either the first or second team All-SEC quarterback, Alabama's had a hell of a year.
Yeah, and that's what Matt Hayes says. Imagine if he's able to Jake Haener this thing up with Jalen Milroe and improve him that much, then this whole talk of Alabama falling off may be just a lot of wasted air in the offseason.
Feels a little premature at that point, doesn't it?
It really does.
Speaking of this, we've got something to announce. Well, let's do a next segment that is coming up this week. Speaking of Alabama football. It has to do with Alabama football.
Big announcement next segment.
Yep. Has to do with Alabama football.
In the next segment, okay. Show being brought to you in part by our friends at A+. Tell us about A+, Brownie.
A+ Tile Home Remodeling. That is who redid the bathroom in the Brown house, and we are so glad they did because our master bathroom was a little bit outdated. It wasn't the colors we wanted. It was white. We wanted darker colors. We wanted it updated. So my wife scoured the internet to find the right person for the job. She picked Brad Bell, A+ Tile Home Remodeling. I'm glad she did. Because Brad specializes in master bath remodeling, kitchen remodeling, and master bedroom closet remodeling. Scott is showing you right now video of a master bedroom closet he just recently remodeled. Those are the things that you're going to enjoy while you live in a house, and you're going to get your money back when you sell your house. That's why it is important to use Brad Bell to make sure you get these things right. You enjoy it while you got it, and you'll make that money back when you go to sell your house. If you want more information, here is his number, 205-422-1758. That's 205-422-1758. A+ Tile Home Remodeling. If you missed anything, reach out to me. I'll get you in touch with Brad Bell. 205-422-1758. A+ Tile Home Remodeling.
All right. I'll give Forrester time to pull it up, but the Cam Newton fight.
It's wild.
See, I haven't seen the video because everywhere I've gone to look at the article, there's no link to the video.
Okay, Forrester's going to pull up the video for you here in a bit. But 7-on-7, it's a tournament in Atlanta. Apparently Cam Newton, who's got his wizard hat on, I don't know if that's what you call it, but it reminds me of the wizard.
Well, it didn't come off.
It never came off as he's fighting. He's attacked by two guys who used to coach. He coaches C1N, which is a 7-on-7 team. These guys apparently are from Top Shelf who used to coach with Cam Newton. And at one point, there's a couple of guys swinging at Cam Newton, who, by the way, ragdolls one guy.
Oh, yeah.
And never goes down. And
freaking hat.
And that hat never comes off.
You think everybody just wanted the hat? Is that what it is?
Now, here's what happened. Apparently, Top Shelf beat Cam's team the day before, and it was a lot of smack talk in the heat, and it carried over into this fight on Sunday.
Dude, little man in the white coming in.
He lands one.
Yeah, cheap shot.
Yeah, it was a cheap shot.
Yeah. But I forget who it is on Twitter. I sent it to you, Forrester. I'll see the name when it pops up. He's funny on Twitter. He says, "This is how Auburn won the national championship."
There's no doubt.
Bucky Perkins, Cam Newton fighting a team of people by himself is how Auburn won a national championship in 2010.
It is so true.
He's got to, if he wears the hat in the car, he's got to have the sunroof open, right?
I would think so, yeah.
Because, I mean, obviously he's a big dude.
Yeah, but I bet it don't come off.
Probably on a scooter. Something.
I mean,
I got to
dude,
stand out somehow.
I don't know why you go after Cam Newton. That guy is huge.
Yeah, he's gigantic. You know what sucks is, I mean, you see these all the time. You don't typically see it with a celebrity involved like Cam Newton. But, I mean, the kids are just in shock when you see things like this.
They're watching this.
Under 18, 7-on-7 is the two coaching staffs that are fighting there.
That was one of the most uncomfortable things as a kid, watching adults. Even an escalated argument was so uncomfortable.
Yeah, at the ballpark.
Especially
all the time, by the way. At the ballpark. That's where it always was.
When we come back, that big Alabama news that Brown wanted to share with you, and a lot more. One little note just to throw out there. I was doing a little research on summer vacation. I know everyone will be traveling at some point. American has joined Alaska Airlines, JetBlue, and now United Airlines on raising baggage fees for your travel.
So how much is it per bag now?
I don't know, but it's getting to the point. Now I thought about this, and I wanted to get LT and your thought on this. That you don't even take a bag. You just buy your clothes when you get there.
Well, I mean, the far more sensible thing to do is just FedEx it to your final destination.
Oh, you FedEx it. It's cheaper to FedEx.
Well, it could be. I mean, I don't know. It depends on what these baggage fees are. It is not.
What is it right now? What was it last time we traveled?
50. You get your first bag, right? And then it's 50 a bag. Is that right?
Not with these airlines. Southwest is first bag free.
Yeah. No, Southwest is 2 bags free.
2 bags free.
I think so.
A lot of these others, you're paying for everything.
Everything has gotten so expensive traveling inside of the United States. Hey, I told you guys I had dinner with some of our friends last night, an international couple. And she was talking about how it's so easy being from France to be able to fly $150 to really any other European company.
Yeah.
Or country, I should say. She was like, you can't do that in the United States. Like, you fly to Dallas, it's $500 right now.
Yeah. That's from country to country. We can't go state for state for $150.
I know. I thought your first bag was, maybe that's, I don't know. Maybe first bag's $25, then it's $50.
Walker, I flew American yesterday. First bag was $30. Second was $40.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that used to be what you would pay for a Southwest Airlines ticket, was close to $100.
Yeah.
I think your first two, if I'm not mistaken, first two are free on Southwest.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people that do just the carry-on now. They just cram it all in as much as you can.
Which makes the carry-on place jam-packed.
Well,
all the time.
Supposedly, you can only take so big of a bag in there, though. I've tested those limits, and a lot of times you can get past more than they tell you can.
Eventually, you price yourself out of a market, don't you?
Well, I mean, there's a pretty small amount of people that can fly you from one side of the country to the other that you trust. So,
yeah, I've never understood, though. Like, if you have empty seats, you should sell them for something.
That's right.
Yeah, it's like empty hotel rooms. Sell them for something. You're not going to get it back.
Yeah, but how many flights have you been on recently with empty seats? That's the thing.
Never.
They've canceled so many.
Not a lot.
Yeah, they've canceled so many flights now.
Yeah.
Almost every time you get on, they're like, "This will be a full flight today."
Flying is just a pain in the ass.
Really
Go ahead
is.
and grab one of your seats because it's going to be full.
Yeah. I get
teleportation, man. We've got to get this thing done.
I know. I mean, I'm all aboard.
Y'all talked about that last week, right?
Yeah, it was on one of Little T's questions.
Yeah, which
there.
way would you have gone? Time travel or teleportation?
Teleportation. I don't want to go into the future or back in time.
Yeah, you go back in time to a sports book, 88 World Series, Game 1, take the Dodgers against the A's.
LT, trust me, I would find a way to screw up my bet.
Now, who won this game? I forgot.
Game 2, right?
It was game 2, right?
Would it be like in Hot Tub Time Machine where Johnny Lawrence is there where they do the bet? He's like, I know what's going to happen in this game. And John Elway and the squirrel comes on the field, remember? Then the next scene, he's in there with Craig Robinson in the bathroom.
That is
underrated comedy right there.
I would screw it up somehow. I placed a $5 parlay last night, in-game parlay, at mybookie.ag, that if it hit would have paid me $1,550.
Yeah, so I'm going to guess it was probably like 8 legs, and you probably went 1 and 6.
It was 9 legs,
and you went.
I didn't even check. Once I saw it lost, I didn't even check how close I was.
One loss is as good as 10 at that point.
All right, show being brought to you by Woodhouse Day Spa. Tell us about Woodhouse. We're back in a moment after this. LT.
Yeah, the gift of luxury from our friends at Woodhouse Day Spa. Beautiful location right there at the Summit Shopping Center. Stop in, see Stuart and that incredible staff. Newly renovated. They've got that side that you can use for bachelorette parties, bridal showers. Call Stuart and the guys. Ask about renting that out. It is a beautiful location. And again, the gift of luxury, you can choose from a menu of over 70 options, including massages, body treatment, skincare, waxing, nail services. Woodhouse Day Spa, voted America's best day spa since 2009. You can order that special person gift online 24/7, birmingham.woodhousespas.com. That's birmingham.woodhousespas.com, or stop by the Summit Shopping Centers. Tell Stuart and the fine folks the Next Round sent you.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
It's that time of year again. The Legacy Swap and Drop promotion is back. It's bigger than ever. Swap your current auto loan or RV loan to Legacy and drop your interest rate and monthly payment. Don't miss out on this opportunity to save big with our friends at Legacy Credit Union. Not a member yet? That's okay. You too can save by becoming a member today. Head over to swapanddrop.com. Apply in minutes. That's swapanddrop.com, or visit one of their 9 greater Birmingham area branches. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions may apply. See Credit Union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
You never know what we're up to here at the Next Round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow the Next Round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunsford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow at Next Round Live across all platforms to join in.
Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemphill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemphill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemphill Services, locally owned and operated independent Trane dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemphill Services. It's hard to stop a Trane. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com. Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Visit nextroundlive.com today. It's free, unless you haven't paid your internet bill. So go ahead and pay that, and then it's free. Heck, you can pull out your phone and go to nextroundlive.com right now, where you'll find all the free content that you can stomach, unless you haven't paid your phone bill. Then you need to pay that, and then you can enjoy all the free content. NextRoundLive.com is so rewarding that it should be behind a paywall, like Lance's Lock. So in summary, play Lance's Lock. Then you'll have enough money to pay your bills, and go to NextRoundLive.com, where you're always at your happiest, for free.
LT is about to tell you again about the big bill that's being pushed through the state government, hopefully a vote coming soon on sports gambling here in the state. Lance'sLock.com for some big games tonight. Miami and North Carolina, 6 o'clock ESPN. Baylor and TCU, 8 o'clock on ESPN. Those two big games and some other great plays at Lance'sLock.com. Tell us about what's going on, LT.
Yeah, the Alabama State Senate, they're soon going to decide if you get the right to vote on a lottery, casinos, and sports betting. It's your money. You should be able to do with it what you want. They need to hear from you, though. Do you know Alabama is one of only 12 states where you can't legally bet on sports? House Bill 151 allows you to choose whether you can place a bet on the big game this weekend. Call your state senator today. That number, by the way, 334-261-0800, 334-261-0800. Wear out the phone. Call them today. Let them know to vote yes on the lottery and gaming bill. For more information, you can go to sportsbettingalliance.org, paid for by the Sports Betting Alliance, sportsbettingalliance.org.
Landmine Believer, real quick. We did talk about that when it happened, all the networks coming together for one streaming service. We did about 30 minutes on it the day it was announced. It was ESPN, Fox, and the folks at TNT, TBS, and all those coming together. It's going to cost some money. I think the estimated price that was being talked about that day was $39 a month, all the way up to $50 a month for those that all sports streaming service. So that's interesting in the future. Also in the future, Brownie, we got something we wanted to talk about.
Yeah, coming up Wednesday. This will be a fun day and a fun reaction in the chat room after we announce this, also on social media. But coming up Wednesday, we will be doing the live show, 9 to 12, the live show from the Malmore Athletic Complex, the Alabama football offices. Coach Kalen DeBoer is going to spend some time with us on the show. And also both new coordinators, Kane Womack and Nick Sheridan, the defensive and offensive coordinators at Alabama. Coach DeBoer is going to be around 11:30 or so. We'll move trash up just a little bit for him. But Coach is going to be with us at 11:30, and we'll end the show with him. We'll have a good half hour with Coach to get to know him a little bit. We'll give you the times when we can on Kane Womack and Nick Sheridan, but just start at 9 o'clock and stick with us the whole day. We will be live from the Malmore Athletic Facility with coaches Kalen DeBoer, Kane Womack, and Nick Sheridan. That is coming up on Wednesday's show, 9 to 12. And, of course, like any live show we do, if you happen to miss it live anywhere you get our show on demand, it will be available to you.
We're doing it live inside the facility?
Yes, we are, Jim.
I was going to ask you guys, has the regime changed a little bit over the last few months?
You're saying you don't think Nick Saban will let us do the show live from inside the Malmore Athletic?
Zero chance.
Yeah, that's what Kalen DeBoer is comfortable with. He needs to be comfortable in his own skin.
I mean, the last time I remember doing it inside of the facility was back in the Mike Shula days.
Probably so.
No, Dennis Franchione, actually.
Okay.
Or that was before Shula, right?
Yeah. Dennis friend Shula days. Rockstar, as always, you'll need your question. So we'll see if Coach DeBoer. I don't know if he's up for hypotheticals. You never know till you ask. So
I always ask.
It won't be nearly as uncomfortable.
I know. I mean, that's
when
going to
you
be
would hear, "Hey, Coach, this is Rockstar."
Coach, this is Rockstar.
Oh, this is even better because this guy has absolutely no idea who I am.
Yeah. I mean, this is coming completely out of the blue for Kalen DeBoer.
Taylor, I just texted you my tuxedo guy. I need a tuxedo for Wednesday. If you can text him. We're not wearing black tie?
Do you have a tuxedo guy?
We're not. I don't know.
This is his buddy, Mr. Birch. I'm a big Bingham guy.
I'm wearing. I'm gonna make it. I'm wearing a Tupac hoodie.
Okay,
I like that. How do you know Kalen DeBoer's not a Tupac fan?
He probably is.
Yeah, I'm gonna wear my "All My Exes Live in Texas" T-shirt.
Do it.
Yeah. No. What are we wearing? No, seriously, black tie?
No. I mean, you're not going to church. You're going to the for some people you
dress like this and probably with a hat.
Yep,
probably with a hat.
Live from the. I mean, I'm sure the football coaches are decked out on a random Wednesday in the offseason.
Look at these ratty guys. Look what they're wearing.
Yeah. So we'll be in Tuscaloosa at the Malmore football facility, Malmore Athletic Facility, coming up Wednesday. We're excited about that.
Should be a lot of fun, and we do look forward to that. Richard Hendrix talking basketball at the top of the hour. Before we jump back into sports, LT, tell us about our friends at MyBookie. It's going to be Brownie. MyBookie.ag. MyBookie.ag.
Yeah, you log on right now, MyBookie.ag, make that initial deposit, and you get a nice bonus just because you're a member of the Next Round audience. MyBookie.ag, code next round to get that deposit bonus. MyBookie.ag, code next round. You make your initial deposit, get that bonus. You can use it right away. You don't have to wait. And you win once with it. It is yours forever. It's not one of those bonuses where they give it to you, but you got to win 4, 5, 6 times to make it yours. Win once, it is yours forever. You can play anything, anytime, anywhere at MyBookie.ag. Code next round when you sign on to get that deposit bonus. MyBookie.ag, code next round. MyBookie.ag, code next round.
All right, so I've stuck my neck out for Steve Sarkisian on this show. If you do not pay attention to the show, I think Steve Sarkisian's a good coach. You guys think?
Oh, I think he's a good coach. I just don't think he's elite like you do.
Yeah. I think he's had one really good year as a head coach.
Okay, that was last year.
That was last year, so at least the lasting impression's good.
If you followed the show for any length of time over our 14 years, occasionally I will stick my neck out on something with doing how much research, Brownie?
Very little?
Very little research.
I was going to say none, but I'll say very little. I think you do at least some.
And then I'll go back and do some research on the backside.
Yeah, and regret that?
And then come back saying, boy, did I really stick my neck out.
Right,
If you're not paying attention to Texas, and let's say you were really trumpeting Steve Sarkisian, last year, their receiving core was one of the best in the country. Donnie Mitchell, Xavier Worthy, Whittingham, good tight end, good backup.
Yeah.
All of those guys are gone.
Well, they got Isaiah Bond, though.
They've got Isaiah Bond.
Yeah.
But everybody else is gone.
They are. That is correct.
They brought in more than Isaiah Bond. They brought in a handful of folks, but it's a whole different looking receiving core in Texas. So neck extended by me, and then I realized all those great receivers that Quinn Ewers was throwing to, they're 88 and out the gate. They're on the way to the Combine this weekend up in Indianapolis, Thursday through Sunday, and they're off to the NFL. They've got to Isaiah Bond's a great place to start, but Isaiah Bond doesn't make it on the field with these guys last year.
No, but I would agree. But if you listed the top 3 to 5 quarterbacks in college football coming back, I think everybody would have Quinn Ewers on their list.
Got to have some Joes.
That's a good start, though.
Yeah,
somebody
but
to throw to.
You go back, Tom Brady, Pat Mahomes, those guys, not necessarily great receivers, and they're winning championships. I'm just saying that you should be able, if you're Texas, to get guys out there that can play, especially when you've got what is viewed as one of the best quarterbacks in college football.
Yeah, but let's assume Quinn Ewers is not the greatest quarterback of all time, or the hottest quarterback right now of all time in Brady and Mahomes. Let's just say he's the best or second best quarterback in the SEC. Losing those receivers hurt you quite a bit there. And now you're coming into the SEC. I just thought that was a big, big loss, and why Isaiah Bond was such a big pickup for Sarkisian.
Well, I'm just saying, though, Alabama has won back-to-back years at a high level without elite receivers.
I mean, Lance is right about that. Probably the most elite receiver they've had over the last 2 seasons, which they didn't make the playoffs last year, or 2 years ago. They did last year.
They really haven't had one.
Isaiah Bond, is he the best one?
I mean, it's subjective. I mean,
he was the best one at the end of last year.
There were times that flashed like Ja'Cory Brooks was going to be that guy.
Burton at times.
Yeah. I mean, you got it. Yeah, I guess Burton at times. By the way, Chip Brown told Lance the other day, $75 million is what they're on the hook for. We were arguing about it being a bad idea to be on the hook for $50 million.
So they're on the same as Jimbo, 75.
Yeah. It's the old Jimbo buyout. That's what Sark's got now.
Xavier Worthy, a Texas receiver, is expected to be one of the 4 fastest people at the NFL Combine this week. Safety Tyler Owens of Texas Tech may be the fastest. Anthony Gould of Oregon State. And then Roman Wilson of Michigan is supposed to be one of the fastest guys there. And that was the one thing that blew me away as Michigan beat Alabama at the Rose Bowl, was how fast that entire team was, including Roman Wilson there. That's football. We'll get you to the top of the hour and back to basketball with Richard Hendrix right after I tell you about our friends at Legacy. The swap and drop program is back with Legacy. Whether you have a car loan, a boat loan, a camper, a motorcycle, or even an ATV loan, you can swap your current loan from your provider to Legacy and drop your interest rate and monthly payments right now. It's the Swap and Drop program, and they've got a special website for you, swapanddrop.com, swapanddrop.com. You can go to the Legacy website as well, legacycreditunion.com, to get more details, or visit any of the 9 greater Birmingham area branches. It's the Swap and Drop program. It is back right now, swapanddrop.com with Legacy. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions may apply. See Credit Union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA.
Follow LT on Twitter at @TheLanceTaylor.
Ready to swap from your current auto or RV loan provider and drop your interest rate? Now is your chance. With Legacy Credit Union's annual Swap and Drop promotion, you can swap your current loan and save with Legacy in minutes. Whether you're a member or a potential member, Legacy Credit Union is here to help you drive into savings. Go online to swapanddrop.com or visit one of their 9 locations to take advantage of this incredible offer. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions may apply. See Credit Union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Did you know that colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in America and that it affects men and women equally? If you're older than 45, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, treatable, and beatable, but early detection is the key. For more information, please visit us. Go to rumpshakerinc.org. Also, 6th annual Rump Shaker 5K coming up Saturday, March 23rd at Regents Field. You can register online, rumpshakerinc.org.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Champy's Chicken brings you this hour. Highway 119 in Alabaster, the best southern fried chicken with Sterling and his crew right down there. Open for lunch right now. Open that door at 11 a.m. There to serve you lunch and dinner. Great to take home and watch the games Wednesday night as Auburn's at Tennessee and Bama's at Ole Miss. We're about to talk about the wild race in the SEC with Richard Hendrix. This hour brought to you by Champy's Chicken, champyschicken.com.
All right, you see Richard now on the SEC Network at rhendrix35 on Twitter. He joins us on the johnstonrvcenter.com hotline. What is up, Richard? How are you today?
Hey, guys. Good to be here. All good on my end?
Well, it's good to talk to you as always. Let's start with Alabama at Kentucky. That was an embarrassing defensive performance. You know, I said earlier, Richard, I think your hope if you're an Alabama fan is that Nate Oates doesn't have to say a word about this to his team, that there's enough leadership that is embarrassed by that Wednesday at Ole Miss, you get your best defensive performance of the year. I mean, that's what you would hope, obviously, if you're an Alabama fan.
Well, you definitely hope that is the response. But Kentucky, you have to give the credit to them. This is a very talented team. We know that they can score in a impactful way just as much as Alabama can. But you have to do a better job on the defensive end. But I also think not having Latrell Wrightsell as a ball handler and a shooter played a little bit of the role at Kentucky, was able to extend their lead. To not have that balance to be able to attack the same way and also have another on-ball defender played an impactful way and how Alabama was routed on the road.
So they've given up 92 in 5 of their last 6 games. Some of those obviously wins, and this Alabama team was really hot coming into the Kentucky game. But I asked you last week on this show, I said, with great athletes, defense is all about effort, right? You said, yes, it is. So how much of this, as good as Nate Oates has done with this program and building this, how much is on Nate Oates?
Well, it's hard to be a good defensive team when you're putting up a lot of points. I mean, now they've had some showings where obviously they win games by 30 points when the defense is looking good and the offense is looking great. But if you look at any team historically, basketball has a balance on both ends of the court. You look at those old NBA teams with the Phoenix Suns and Steve Nash. They scored a lot of points, but they also are not able to hold people to low numbers. And at the same time, you can remember those Detroit Pistons teams were keeping teams and winning championships in the 60s. So it's a connected style. Kentucky, for the same way, you win, you score 117 points, but you give up 95. So the balance in the way that you play complementary basketball is going to play a role in it. But Alabama is going to have to do a better job at limiting the turnovers, which leads to the fast break layups, getting back in defensive transition, not allowing Kentucky to get on the wings and push it up the sideline to get easy shots. And then when you're just guarding on the ball, that is a pride thing when you're going on the ball defense, not letting people getting you off the dribble drive. But the team has to focus a little bit more to lock in for longer periods of time. But it's connected.
I will tell you that when Alabama beat Florida the other night, that comeback win in overtime, and they were in sole possession, I felt like they had a chance to win it rough. I started to let my mind slip there and say, I think Alabama is gonna win this SEC regular season. Now you lose at Kentucky. Auburn wins at Georgia without Jalen Williams. Tennessee's got both Auburn and Alabama this week. South Carolina's hanging in there. This looks like it's going to be a wild race down the stretch here. Do you have a feel on who has an advantage in these final 4 games?
Oh, for sure. The advantage goes to the Auburn Tigers. I mean, right now, and I've said this for weeks, this league is wide open, and it all comes down to scheduling and matchup. But if you look at the last 4 games that Auburn has, they have the much more favorable schedule compared to the other teams that are in the mix to win it. Alabama has a tough schedule coming down the road. Tennessee has to play Alabama, Auburn, Kentucky, and South Carolina, all 4 teams that are in the top 5 of the league. So Auburn, with the fact that they have to play Georgia, other teams as well, that they feel like they have the upper hand outside of Tennessee on the road, has the favorable schedule to fly under the radar and maybe sneak a championship after other people had counted them out.
Yeah, it's going to be it's almost like a battle royal, where everybody just keeps coming to the ring right here, going down the stretch.
But to his point, if Auburn beats Tennessee Wednesday in Knoxville, I mean that's an upset. But if they beat Tennessee Wednesday in Knoxville, it could be Bruce Pearl's championship.
Check Bruce's record against Tennessee; it's been pretty good. Richard Hendrix is with us, SEC Network at Hendrix35. He's on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. You brought Auburn up. That was an impressive win at Georgia. Doing it without Jalen Williams, I think we all wondered what Auburn team would show up, and they had the best road shooting performance of the SEC season this year. Not Auburn's best. I think the SEC's best, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that's what they're going to need. You have to have the guard play is going to step up. As I've sung the praises of Janai Broome all season long, he doesn't have his other front court mate in Jalen Williams, but he demands people to have to decide if you're going to dig down or double team. He can score one-on-one. He can draw fouls and get to the free throw line, and he's a willing passer to kick it out for shooters. So when you have players like Chad Baker-Mazara knocking down threes, scoring at high rates, and as well as the other guard play from Auburn hitting shots from the outside, now you have the balance that really makes this a dangerous team. But it's about matchups. And if you look moving forward, what teams match up well against their opponents? And that's what it all boils down to when you get to March. Who do you play well against? And it matters when you talk about the last 4 games of the SEC slate, the SEC tournament, and more than anything, the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, and Aiden Holloway is that other guard you're talking about. I mean, he has really struggled behind the arc, and, he comes on 5 of 8 this past Saturday. Once you get Jalen Williams back, if you can get Holloway making those outside shots, how dangerous is Auburn?
Well, they're very dangerous because they have depth. They can defend when they want to. They can play multiple styles of game. They can play a slow grind-out game, and when the defense is going, they're tough to play against. And they can also, when they're shooting well, they can score with high numbers. So a team that I've mentioned all season long that I thought was very dangerous is just because of their play style versatility. You have a big man you can throw it into. You have some guards that are willing and capable shooters and scorers. It's just a matter of getting hot and getting it all together at the right time. And they looked pretty good against Georgia this weekend.
And speaking of hot, now we talk bad about Alabama's defense, but that Kentucky team, they beat Auburn in Auburn. I don't know what happened at LSU. Then they beat Alabama. It does feel like Calipari's team, not as young as some of his teams, but it has some youth there. They seem to be finding a good mix at a good time of year. Can Kentucky make a deep run in March Madness?
I think they can. I mean, when you have the talent that they have, and depending on who they match up against, but athletically and skill-wise, when you talk about Dillingham and Reed Shepherd, as well as Antonio Reeves, you're talking about with the ball. I don't know if there's anyone that can stay in front of those guys when you give them space and allow them to operate and with their shot-making ability. So they're a team that can get hot defensively if they can get some things cleaned up with the interior defense. Aaron Bradshaw and Big Z will have to be much better. Nyunsu has done some really good jobs with his shot blocking and rim protection. But as far as containing dribble penetration and focusing on every single play, that's what's going to have to be for Kentucky to win games. They've had several winnable games in the SEC, and the reason they're not in this conversation to win the championship right now with the other teams who are a game or two ahead of them is just because of defensive lapses. They have to do a better job of focusing and locking down.
Richard Hendrix is with us. I wanted to pull up his box score from Saturday real quick. His line in the box score from Saturday against Texas A&M. Tennessee got the win, Richard, of course. But I was just so impressed watching some of that game by the play of Zakai Ziegler. But I wanted to get this right. 9 defensive rebounds, 14 assists, 4 steals, 9 points. I mean, he doesn't even record a triple-double, but that's an amazing line for a guard. Zakai Ziegler, one of the best players really in the country, not just in the SEC.
And if you go and look at that box score, let me know if I'm remembering this right. Is it 0 turnovers?
0 turnovers. I should have included that. You're absolutely right. 14 assists, no turnovers.
When you talk about that Tennessee team, powerful, strong, tough, they play right on the line of a foul with their physicality. But they have a true point guard in Zakai Ziegler who understands the balance of the floor. He can play in a slow pace. He can play in a fast pace. He can put people where they need to be. Obviously, he has a good high assist-to-turnover ratio and understands how to play. Defensively, he pressures the ball well and starts it off for that team. So it's a very dangerous team. And when they have it clicking, I know they have the tough games down the stretch, but this is the preseason favorite to win the SEC, and I think they can do it. But they have a tough schedule coming in front of them, but they definitely have the talent and the personnel.
Hot debate in college basketball coming on the heels of Wake Forest win this past weekend in Winston-Salem. I was going to ask you, as a former player, have you been on either side of a court storming, and did you ever feel threatened by a court storming?
Well, first off, let me answer the second one. I've never felt threatened. I'm going to just be straight up.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Richard's a big guy now. He's a big guy.
Again, I think this is from Caitlin Clark to what we saw with Flip this past weekend. I think we got a little flopping, just my opinion.
A little too much. Listen, I haven't – I played a long time. I never had any intimidation issues on the court. I mean, but I will say this. I understand – the situation of people want player safety. I'd have played in a game that was a court storming. I go back to when I played at Alabama in 2007. We were the number 4 team in the country. We lost on the road at Notre Dame. People might not have to remember, go back to around December of 2006, I believe it was. We lost at Notre Dame. There was a court storming. I never felt threatened. I mean, if you see someone get in your personal space, I mean, I think the first rule is to protect yourself at all times. I mean, I think it's one of those things where I love to see the pageantry and the excitement around the game. The court storming is something that makes those games fun. Maybe they need to have a little bit better job with the security. I don't know if I feel a certain way that it needs to be totally banned. I also don't feel the same way about the handshaking line. Everyone says get rid of this. You have to have some personal control. It's a part of decorum in the game and sportsmanship. You shake their hand, you move on. If the students want to come on the court, it's within yourself to understand the environment and get off the court as quickly as you can. Now, listen, I'm a guy who played 13 years professionally. 12 of them were overseas. I played in Tel Aviv, Israel. I played in Serbia, Belgrade, Serbia. I played in Athens, Greece. So hostile crowds don't really bother me. I played in places where they have flares lit in the stands. They're throwing batteries at you on the court. I mean, there's going to be armed security guards around the whole bench in the court playing in games in Belgrade, Serbia. So to me, I don't know if I got too much concern about a student running out in front of me in the court. Just my opinion. I think I can kind of take care of that myself.
Have you ever talked to Slay? Slay told us the story one time. Where was he playing? Do you guys remember?
I think it was Turkey.
Was it Turkey?
Yeah,
I think Jim's right.
We played for the same club. We played for Galatasaray, Istanbul. We played for the same club. Listen, when you play abroad, you become you become numb to it. I look back on it now that I'm done playing, and I say, I cannot believe I played in some of these environments. I literally was in a game in the EuroLeague, and we were playing Partizan Belgrade, and it was a major call that was fouled, and I remember I celebrated, and I got hit right here in the chest with the battery. I mean, and you just move on. You just move on, you get it off the court, and you do what you got to do. I mean, so I don't know how I feel about from a standpoint that if I see a guy running in to go celebrate at Wake Forest, if I'm too intimidated about it, you put your forearm out, you stiff arm them, you get off the court as quickly as you can, and you get back there and regroup. I mean, it's a fun part of the game. Yeah, player safety should be something that is considered. Security can be considered. But have a little fun, too, with the game. We all love the visuals. We all love to see it. And if you're a student in college, that's an iconic moment in your career when you get to celebrate an upset of a top 5, top 10 team. So I don't know. I mean, listen, I might be an old guy, but I think it might be a little soft.
Follow me here. I'm starting my basketball program. I'm getting big recruits. Should I let them redshirt their first year and I pay for them to play abroad?
Tough it up.
And then they come back for me, and then all of a sudden playing in Fayetteville or Auburn's not that big a deal.
We don't have armed guards.
Maybe that's the way to roll. Maybe that's the way to roll.
Listen, I mean, I know everyone talks about the jungle and they talk about these environments and it's hostile. Americans, and y'all were just talking about European travel, and Americans are very civil. They are calm. These are not fans. These are just people coming to the game. Play abroad, and you will then see what true support and fandom is like. These people are passionate. I've played environments that would put, honestly, the Iron Bowl and Alabama and Auburn to shame. I mean, they really would. And people can't understand that. But if you go and Google, you look at teams, they'll look at Panathinaikos in Greece or Maccabi Tel Aviv and their rosters that they play, Partizan Belgrade, Real Madrid and Barcelona. I've played in all of these environments and all of these rivalries, and you will see what true fandom is like. And if you're concerned about someone trickling onto the court from Wake Forest, I don't know. I mean, listen. John Shire's my boy, and I get him. I played with them in Maccabi Tel Aviv, and I understand you want to protect your players, but he's played in these tough environments as well at Duke and abroad. So something does need to be done, but I don't want to see it leave. But personal responsibility of protecting yourself at all times just needs to be heightened in your own mind. I don't care where you are, even if it's in a court storming.
All right, he is Richard Hendrix, see him on the SEC Network. Excellent perspective there from Richard, a guy that's played the game. We greatly appreciate the time as always, Richard.
Thank you, guys. Always enjoy it.
All right, buddy, take care. Hendrix35 is where you find Richard on Twitter, and see him on the SEC Network doing a tremendous job with them. There are times where it sounds like playing internationally is more fun than being an NBA player.
Oh, it's I don't know about fun. Interesting.
Yeah. Now a high-end NBA player, but if I'm just a bench warmer NBA player, it almost seems like that's more fun.
Yeah, that's why I always say this guy probably not going to play in the NBA, but will be able to play overseas for a decade, make good money. I mean, you're not going to make NBA money. The more I look at this Filipowski, though, he actually is almost the guy that he almost was the first to contact the student.
Well, I mean, I don't blame him for that.
Our friends at Rump Shaker, back at it again and coming up at Regions Field.
Yeah, March 23rd, the 16th annual Rump Shaker 5K. It's coming up Saturday, March 23rd, Regions Field. For more information, get registered. Go to rumpshakerinc.org. Did you know that colon cancer is second leading cause of cancer deaths in America? It affects men and women equally. If you're 45 or older, Rump Shaker encourages you to talk to your doctor about screening options that are available. Colon cancer is preventable, it's treatable, it's beatable. Early detection is the key. Again, go online, rumpshakerinc.org.
And also by our friends at Champy's world famous fried chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Forrester's going to put up a great picture right there of that deep southern fried chicken, brined overnight, cooked to order. They bring you this hour every day. Champy'sChicken.com, Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, and so much more. Go by and see Sterling today, Highway 119 in Alabaster. When we come back, we'll introduce you to a new show that starts today. We've also got trash for you, and you'll see our buddy Matt Rule take one for the team over the weekend. That's up next right here on TNR.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Let me introduce you to the new line of Red Wing athletic work shoes. This great new line is perfect for the industrial athlete, the guy who is working on concrete or running through the warehouse all day long. Red Wing Athletics use the same technology found in a running shoe, with soft mesh uppers, a lightweight aluminum toe for protection, and non-slip soles. This shoe is a winner. This comfortable new line of safety shoes are perfect for warehousing and light manufacturing. Plus, the colors look great. Stop by your local Red Wing shoe store, have your feet measured, and test drive a new pair of Red Wing athletic work shoes.
When on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or the Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
Sports fans, Alabama State Senate will soon decide if you get the right to vote on a lottery, casinos, and sports betting. But they need to hear from you. Did you know Alabama is one of only 12 states where you can't legally bet on sports? House Bill 151 allows you to choose whether you can place a bet on the big game this weekend. Call your state senator today. Tell them to vote yes on the lottery and gaming bill. For more information, go to sportsbettingalliance.org. It's paid for by the Sports Betting Alliance. Again, sportsbettingalliance.org.
Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239 Equal Housing Lender.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Earlier in the show, Hemp Hill brought us best and worst of the weekend. Great place to swing by and get your heating and cooling checked out before the seasons change again, LT.
Yeah, hard to stop a train. 205-229-2090. That is the number. Hemp Hill Services, Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Make sure your unit ready to keep up with the changing weather. Trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for plumbing, heating, and cooling. It's Hemp Hill Services.
And our Manscaped close shave of the day before Brown tells you about our friends at Manscaped. Our buddy Matt Rule in Lincoln, Nebraska, halftime of their big win yesterday over Minnesota. They're letting the football players have a dunk contest.
Hey, they were good, too.
And Matt Rule is going to be a prop for one. I don't have the football players' names here, but as you would imagine, it's a football player who's not playing for Nebraska basketball, and we almost lost the head of Matt Rule there. A little decapitation.
We almost lost the left wrist of whoever that player is.
Yeah, you're right. A lot of football coaches don't like their football players anywhere near a basketball coach.
Oh, that used to be a big deal, but now you see more and more like this. I don't know how much you guys probably didn't watch at all, but both Micah Parsons and Puka Nacua were playing in the Celebrity All-Star game, and both were out there dunking and running around, and I was just thinking, there is no way that Jerry Jones wants Micah Parsons out there. There's no way Sean McVay wants Puka Nacua out there.
Yeah. It was crazy, though, man. They had some good dunks. Like, better than some of the stuff you saw in the actual NBA dunk contest.
Yep.
Manscaped gives you that close shave of the day. It'll give you a close shave any day you want. I use the beard hedger 3 times a week. I got my schedule. Every Sunday before church, I use the beard hedger. I do it Wednesday for the midweek and then Friday to get ready for the weekend. Keep that beard nice and trimmed down the way I like it. It's got a dial-up guard on there. You're not popping guards on and off, because if you can pop a guard on and off before you shave, it'll pop off easily while you're shaving and gap that beard. It's got the dial-up with more than 20 settings there, so it can get the length of any beard you want. That's just one of the great products there at manscaped.com. They also got the Weed Whacker, which takes care of the nose hair and the ear hair, so you don't look like some unkempt crazy old man walking around with nose hair and ear hair. It's got the Lawnmower, which takes care of the full body, including the undercarriage, so you could stay clean everywhere and cleanly shaven everywhere. Don't forget their male body products, their boxer shorts. Listen, if that man in your life has got a birthday coming up, or if you want to drop the hint to the lady in your life about your birthday coming up, or maybe an anniversary gift, Manscaped is a great idea. So much so, we're going to help you save. Code TNR at checkout gives you 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. That is code TNR at manscaped.com. 20% off and free shipping when you go to manscaped.com and use code TNR. Jim.
I'm sorry. It's been a week of doing the show by myself in my own apartment in my head.
That was close shave.
Yeah, close shave, cutting it close. Okay, it's time to introduce our newest show that starts today. You already knew it was coming. You've seen the promotion and everything. But let's bring in the host of the Meltdown, and they'll tell you what the show will be about and everything. The flames are going over on the Lego chair. One mic, 2 big people, Tim Melton, John Lunsford. Hey, guys, how are you?
Doing well. Happy to be here. Still recovering from pickup basketball myself. From late last week, I had Lance down there in the post, and he's an ankle biter for sure.
An ankle biter?
What does that mean, Melton?
That means that he's significantly smaller than I am down there, but he fights and scraps.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That was a compliment then.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I asked him afterwards. I was like, I knew you were big. I was like, what do you weigh, 280, 290? He's like 330.
Yeah.
Hey, just to confirm, we don't have to go any further. Your feet are 20 pounds each, right?
According to you, yes.
Were you here for that?
Yeah.
I was not here for the size of a person's foot.
Lance thinks each one of Melton's feet, Melton wears a size 18, he thinks each one of Melton's feet weighs 20 pounds. Like, independently, if you cut it off.
There's a lot of bone in that foot.
And that led EG to determine a scale you could use to weigh certain body parts.
Yeah.
Well, I just asked Melton. I was like, look, if you ever lose a foot, will you do us a favor and will you actually weigh it before you dispose of that part? I mean, what do you think? If you just had to guess an over-under on that foot.
So stand up.
Okay.
How's that going to help?
Can you walk over to the middle over here?
Oh, you're going to want. Whoa,
We're going to get a full eclipse here.
Yeah. All right. So you're looking.
Step back, please.
Yeah.
I got to be able to see full body.
Yeah. Wow. What are you counting, Dunaway?
I mean, the size of his foot all the way up.
Yeah. Oh, size of his foot all the way up, and then you're going to divide by what?
This is the stupidest thing.
Yeah, I know it really is, Melton. You remember?
I don't say they're 20. I don't say they're 20 pounds.
Okay.
I'm going to say they're. I mean, there's a bone. There's one big solid bone there, but I'm going to say about 15 each.
You remember The Office Rockstar when Michael says, "How many beats per hour?" How's that going to help you? I'm going to divide by 60.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the Meltdown today.
Yes.
Give me times, location, everything I need to know if I want to tune in and watch this.
Starts at 2:00, streaming everywhere that the next round is currently streaming, except we're on our own channel there, which you can find there under the featured channels spot on YouTube. So make sure you like and subscribe there. But we're talking entertainment, pop culture. We are going to talk about the latest movie releases, music, video games. All of that is on the table, and we're very excited to debut our first ever episode today at 2:00. We'll have the live chat feature for everybody to participate in the show, so we're looking very forward to that.
So 2:00 Central today, and Monday through Friday, Lunsford.
Monday through Friday, 2 to 3, roughly. We don't have to follow quite the same guidelines y'all do. And then a lot of pre-recorded content as well, just filling up the channel, and yeah.
G Curbo says live on the app. That answer is no, right?
No. So I'm actually working on our own app. But no, not on the Next Round app. Everything for the Next Round will be at Next Round Live. Everything for the Meltdown will be at Meltdown 24/7. But you can obviously find both channels on both places.
Okay, I don't know if you guys are fans of the zombie genre. I'm not necessarily a huge fan. But if so, best zombie movie of all time. Because I watched it last night. I just want to see if you guys agree.
You've got the answer.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it before. Maddie had never seen it. And
it's the Tom Cruise one where they're really fast.
You guys were talking about Johnny Cash earlier.
Yeah.
Dawn of the Dead, the remake from Zack Snyder back in 2004, would be my favorite zombie movie experience. I really enjoyed that one.
Okay.
Does I Am Legend count as a zombie movie?
It could, and I would
kind
put
of have
that
vampires,
right up
have zombies. I feel like.
Yeah.
I like that. I like World War Z. That's where they're fastest. Brad Pitt, not Tom Cruise. I'm not a horror person though. I don't really watch zombie movies.
Yeah.
You were thinking of the Orson Welles remake that Tom Cruise was in.
No, I was thinking World War Z, the little fast ones.
Okay.
It's
I think you confused
28
the two.
days later. Danny Boyle,
28
Cillian
days
Murphy.
later?
Yeah, they're actually, so they did, I never saw 28 months later, but they're doing 28 years later. Pre-production starts, I think, in May, but Cillian Murphy's coming back.
Yeah, Murphy's having an absolute huge year off of Oppenheimer. He's winning all these awards. Probably the favorite right now to win the Oscar.
He is.
For lead actor.
No, minus 900, I think.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite actors right now.
Yeah, no, he's crushing it. Peaky Blinders was a huge hit for him.
Yeah.
He's really becoming an A-lister, and a lot of people thought that maybe wasn't possible, but I think that's the Christopher Nolan effect in play.
There's a romantic comedy, Lunsford, you'll know it, romantic comedy zombie movie. You know which one I'm talking about, where there's love interest and they end up driving around, good soundtrack.
Sure. There's one called Warm Bodies. There's actually a movie called Lisa Frankenstein that's kind of the same thing that actually just came out that's terrible. I don't recommend it.
Warm Bodies.
What was the one with Schwarzenegger, though, where his daughter gets bitten or whatever?
Maggie?
Yeah.
Maggie.
Oh, wow. All right, that's the Meltdown.
2:00.
2:00 today, Central Time, 3:00 Eastern. If you're watching, it's Eastern Time Zone. For the most part, no sports. They'll dabble in sports and talk a lot of pop culture. That's later today. You can subscribe to the Meltdown right there on the YouTube channel at Meltdown 247. It's a new pop culture brand from Disrupt Media. It's live today at 2 p.m. Put it in the teleprompter, I'd nail it.
That was
I got you. It's okay.
G. Curbo needs to show his opinion on Sydney Sweeney. I think it's a consensus, universal opinion. I don't think anybody has any other opinions on Sydney Sweeney.
Okay.
Correct, yes.
Yeah. All right. With that said, it's time for trash, so rock 'em.
Okay, so where's your house?
It's next to my neighbor's house.
Hey, where's your neighbor's house?
Ooh, you wouldn't believe me if I told you.
Try me.
Next to my house.
Step out the car, please.
I'm going to jail?
Yep.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages, done the right way.
Are you a veteran looking for a VA loan? Mortgage Advice has been advocating for veterans since their company began. It's a veteran-owned, operated company committed to your well-being. They can help you find the best terms available, guide you through every step of the process. As a veteran-owned, operated company, they understand the difference between working with someone who gets it, someone who doesn't. They've made it their mission to simplify the VA loan process. Visit their location, Highway 280 in Birmingham. You can apply mortgageright.com/TNR. Call 205-815-9200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. Joe Exotic, Tiger King, back in trash today.
Uh-oh. Is he running for president still?
No. Now, we know that Joe Exotic was a guy that had a little flair to him, right?
Yeah, flair is one way of putting it. Is that still him on the right there? I don't want to jump the script here, Lance.
That is not him on the right.
Okay. Go ahead.
As Matt Damon would say in Good Will Hunting, the Tiger King liked to putt from the rough.
A little bit.
He has expressed his admiration for Machine Gun Kelly, claiming he'd woo his crush with, quote, a tiger and a bit of meth. Nothing like
meth?
Wooing with a tiger and a bit of meth. Now, Machine Gun Kelly recently took to Instagram to share an image of his new tattoo. That is his tattoo, by the way. One of the worst tattoos in the history of tattoos. A black block that takes up the entirety of his upper torso. Now, clearly impressed by this new ink, Exotic, who is currently serving that 21-year prison sentence, commented on the post, quote, a tiger and a bit of meth, and you would be mine, LOL. Making his romantic intentions clear, Exotic later reshared the photo, adding the words, a tiger and a little bit of meth, I can make Machine Gun Kelly gay.
Now, is Machine Gun Kelly already gay?
No, he's got Megan Fox.
Very straight.
Yeah, she was in Transformers.
Yeah. I tell you what, man, it's going to take if Megan Fox is his love interest, it's going to take a lot more than meth, I'm afraid.
Yeah. I would tell you though that in that picture, you can't see because of the ticker. Tiger King is hiding his thumb, so maybe he's got an ugly thumb too that would turn on Machine Gun Kelly.
Got toenail thumbs.
The old Megan Fox.
Now, where is his right thumb? Is what I would ask you.
Well, the tiger's smiling.
This one out of Columbus, Georgia. A man's body was found after a fisherman hooked into it and brought it to shore, according to coroner Buddy Brine. Quote, in 12 years, this is the first time I've had a fisherman hook a body and bring it into shore, end quote. A group of men were fishing Tuesday evening, the Chattahoochee River in Columbus, Georgia, when they made the gruesome discovery. Authorities believe the body is a man who reportedly jumped in the river on February 7th. Man has not been publicly identified. Brian says the ruling of his death, accidental drowning.
Well, it's going to suck.
Is that the corner right there?
That's the corner.
The corner looks like the old man I was talking about, John Maloney on Frasier.
Frasier, he does.
A little bit, yeah. I think some of it's the glasses around the neck. Didn't that guy always have glasses around his neck?
I don't remember.
He did.
Well, it's going to suck. You think you've caught a big fish, and it's a human body.
That's a muddy-ass water back there, too.
Chattahoochee, man.
So I think this is an update. Annual event commonly known as the Naked Man Festival came to an end after nearly 1,000 years due to the declining population in the area.
Yeah, we talked about this story earlier, Rockstar, at some point.
Oh,
because they were letting like 4 or 5 females, like not 4 or 5, but they're letting females sporadically join in for the first time in like 1,000 years. And like, okay, we're going to end it this year too.
Yeah.
You're going to have to put a big number out there to get me in the middle of that.
You see Flipowski?
Yeah, Wake Forest got another court storm there, don't they?
You'd take him off in a body bag if he got in the middle of that. This festival, commonly known as the Naked Man Festival, involves hundreds of loincloth-clad men gathering at this temple to wrestle for ownership of a bag of talismans blessed by the temple chief priest.
If Rockstar was in the middle of that, he'd be flopping, though.
Yeah, I wouldn't be flopping.
He'd be falling to the ground all the time.
6 to midnight, real quick.
Now, the festival, which dates back more than 1,000 years, is held annually on the 7th day of the Lunar New Year. Chief Priest announced that this year's festival, which was held this past Saturday, was the facility's last.
Yeah, that's it. Thousands of years, we're done.
So Saban resigns or retires and it's over. Like everything's ending.
Declining population, you said, was the reason, or declining popularity? I think popularity.
Popularity, yeah. Okay. They said the decision is due to the aging of individuals involved in the festival, a shortage of successors, while efforts were made to continue the festival to the best of their abilities in order to prevent last-minute cancellations or disruptions in the future. The decision to cancel the festival itself has been made. I'm sure plenty of people will lose sleep.
So in that photo, Rockstar, every one of those guys is naked.
Got a loincloth on. It's cheating a little bit.
Oh, yeah, that is cheating still.
We just
very uncomfortable.
established Joe Exotic and which way he leans. I mean, population in that, I mean, it'd be hard to be straight to be in that, right?
It's going to be tough, yeah. It's a lot of sweaty bodies together. It's probably not a great
But I don't even know how many
smell.
dudes would want to be in the middle of that many women. That's a lot of bodies.
That's just a lot of bodies, yeah.
So, Rope Daddy, an exceptional specimen of big rope, one of the most sought-after varieties of French bulldogs, whose inevitable genetic traits allegedly make him worth.
Hey, if I was looking for the sponsor for the previous story, Rope Daddy would have been the sponsor.
There you go.
$120,000. Now, this is a very unique-looking French bulldog.
For that dog?
Yeah, now,
that's an ugly dog. $120,000?
Sporting what they claim is a beautiful cream brown coat, mesmerizing golden eyes, compact body, and squarish head, Rope Daddy is considered one of the world's most luxurious big rope specimens. His Colombian breeder, Julian Monteo, claims that the pooch embodies all the best traits of his breed, claiming that the current value is around $120,000. Caring for such a majestic specimen and catering to his every need isn't cheap. Julian says he spends about $350 a month on Rope Daddy's diet, which includes raw meat, carrots, and Greek yogurt, as well as vitamins and other supplements. In the U.S., demand for French bulldogs with big rope characteristics has doubled, a trend that is currently being mimicked throughout South America as well, and that is bound to push the value of elite specimens like Rope Daddy even higher.
That's the nickname I want.
Rope Daddy?
I want to be known as Rope Daddy.
Why do they call it Rope Daddy?
Go to that festival if they bring it back.
There's old Rope Daddy.
See what can happen.
Did you say that dog costs $120,000?
They are valuing it at $120,000 just because it's got very interesting genetic traits. Like if you see a French bulldog, they don't really look like that.
They're not furry like that.
Yeah, it's got very interesting eyes. Yeah, the square head.
How fast was he running when he ran into the wall that made his nose like that?
I don't think
I'm
they're
sure
fast.
he's got some breathing issues.
They all have breathing
Bulldogs
issues.
are real fun to sleep
One
with.
ugly dog right there. I cannot imagine paying. Well, I wouldn't pay much of anything for a dog, but certainly not $120,000.
Who has more obscure division right now? That dog because of the snout, or Ryland Griffin because of the Band-Aid?
Back to the Band-Aid. It bothered you, didn't it?
Call back.
That's for the first segment, too.
So, Ranker.com did the top 10 greatest American rock bands. I disagree with this list, Rocky. I don't know where you were on this. But here we go. Number 10 is Journey. I think they're probably worthy of top 10.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Journey did some really, really good songs. Their songs have stood the test of time.
Yeah, this is
or
where
at least one of them.
Big problem. Number 9 on the list is Metallica.
Well, that seems awful low.
Way too low.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to have to see 8 through 1 before I make my choice.
Number 8, not even close to Metallica, in my opinion. Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Are you kidding
Steve
me?
Martin, John Fogerty, and Steve Martin.
Awful.
Creedence Clearwater Revival in front of Metallica? Who did this?
I think 7 might be worse. ZZ Top.
Are you serious?
That's one of my least. Them and the Doobie Brothers, one of my least favorite bands of all time.
Just terrible lyrics.
If I never listen to another ZZ Top song, it'll be too soon. What an awful group. Who did this? Rolling Stone?
No, Ranker.com.
Oh, okay.
Number 6, great band, but I just don't think they've got the impact of like a Metallica, and that's Guns N' Roses. But I would say they definitely deserve to be in the top 10.
Yeah, the problem with Guns N' Roses is they hit when I was in like middle school and high school, so I do think of them in nostalgia.
Yeah.
And I mean, they were so
But at their
popular.
height, man.
They were so good.
So freaking good.
So good.
Number 5 on the list, very deserving, Van Halen.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, whatever variety of Van Halen you liked, they were very consistent. Very, very good. Number 4, it should be a little higher in my opinion.
Hey, Rope Daddy.
I was going to say
on the
6.
far
John
right.
Eddie. Yeah. He's getting after it.
Far right is Rope Daddy there.
That's Eddie, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's Eddie.
Yeah. Oh, Eddie wanted you to know.
Don't put him in MLB's new pants.
Eddie wanted you to know he brought a gun to the table, didn't he?
Hey, hold on a second. I'm going to need to rearrange some blood.
Number 4 on the list, Aerosmith. Maybe should be a little higher. I mean, you think about their...
Can't go much higher than 3, LT.
Well, they're number 4, but the longevity... I mean, we're talking, 5 decades?
Yeah, I mean...
And the original members, too.
Yeah. Aerosmith stood the test of time. I'll give him credit.
Is that drummer about to hit the drums, Rockstar?
I
disagree. No, he's counting them down.
Disagree with number 3. I love them. I think the music early was great. They were too abbreviated, and that's Leonard Skinner.
Yeah, I mean...
We just didn't get enough.
But I got no problem with being right there.
I mean, they're better than any of this band so far.
I've seen Skinner like 3 times. I don't know any of them.
No, I think they're
cover band?
better than. But I mean, I would have like Aerosmith, Van Halen, and Metallica definitely in front.
Well,
I would not have any of those in front, just by hits.
Yeah, I think you've got to judge the catalog versus. I mean, their catalog is their catalog because it was cut short. It was truncated, and that is hard to judge.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If they would have been longer, I would have put them, but I could not put them in front of Aerosmith or Metallica for sure.
But you're telling me that Leonard Skinner doesn't have more hits than Aerosmith?
No.
No, I don't think
as
they
far
do,
as
Jim.
more popular songs.
Not even close.
They don't.
Not even close.
I like them better, trust me, but they don't have more hits.
Yeah, I
than
mean, Aerosmith's probably had 20, 25 top 10 singles.
Okay, that's top 10 singles. I'm just talking about for you personally hits that you like.
Well, but I mean, that's different.
Yeah,
I mean, I might like deep cover songs.
Well, I mean, you like Metallica. Not everybody loves Metallica. You like this or that. I'm talking about for you, Aerosmith or Leonard Skinner. Which songs do you like more? More Leonard Skinner songs or more Aerosmith songs?
I mean, there's more to choose from Aerosmith.
Yeah, I'm not asking that though. Which one?
Probably Aerosmith.
Okay.
Probably, yeah. I mean, they've done it for. I mean, those guys did it for what, 5 years?
I mean, I prefer Leonard Skinner, but Aerosmith's got more hits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 2 on the list, the Eagles. I don't think you can deny it. Like them or hate them.
I know you don't particularly like them, but I mean, it was hit after hit after hit.
Yeah, I mean, I think
bunch of happy guys right there.
They loved each other.
I mean, I think there's some really good Eagles, but like Witchy Woman, no thank you.
No, I'm not a fan of that.
But you got burned out on the Eagles because they were so overplayed when classic rock exploded as a radio genre, I think.
No, but I think they've got to be in this. I think number 1 is way overrated. I've seen them before.
Night Ranger?
I think they're good. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Oh, now Tom Petty was a fantastic concert. I would not put him number 1.
Yeah, I think this is way too high.
Hey, Ed, I mean, so some obvious omissions, Rockstar. I mean, REM.
Yeah, they were up. Well, this is the top 100. Like, I don't even like. I mean, you got.
But I'd have REM in front of
Creedence and ZZ Top.
Clearwater Revival. REM's better.
But I would imagine if you're old, Creedence Clearwater Revival were for you in your high school or college years what Guns N' Roses were for you.
Oh, maybe so.
So some of those people are still getting votes. I'm not a big Creedence fan. Where is the greatest American band of all time in Kiss?
They retired. I don't know where they were. I mean, this is 100 bands.
Yeah.
I think Kiss is more of a. Some people might consider them more of a gimmick.
Motley Crue, were they in the top 100?
Yeah, they had to be. Well, had to be top 20.
I will look for it and.
No, I was just wondering.
Put it on the page. No, we can do that. I got to find it. Then
No, I didn't need an exact number. I'm just saying they were on the list, though, right?
Oh, I'm sure they were.
Okay.
Fleetwood Mac.
They were. A lot of them were British.
Well, but they played in America.
Right.
That's all I consider.
Lionel Messi?
Yes.
He's not from America, but he's playing here. That is Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right.
Yeah, did the new year add to your financial uncertainty? Let the experts at Mortgage Right help get your financial house in order. Their team of experts can make sure you're prepared. Anything 2024 may bring, including freeing up cash for the things you need to get done. With location right there, Birmingham, Highway 280. Take control today. Visit Mortgage Right online. Go to mortgageright.com/TNR. Call 205-815-9200. NMLS 2239 Equal Housing Lender.
And our great friends at Redmont, Charles Barkley's Vodka. We love them so much. 8 times distilled, gluten-free, wherever you get your vodka. Make it our friends at Redmont Vodka, and they're available in 22 states right now. And you can go buy a new bottle of Redmont Vodka if you're the appropriate age right now with your $5 gift certificate or credit that you're getting from AT&T. They're sending out a $5 credit.
I saw that.
All because of the outage last week. Was it worth $5? That it seemed like it should be more than that.
It really didn't impact me that much, to be honest.
I didn't notice it. I think I was asleep.
Never got it.
I mean, if they had not given me a credit, I don't think I'd have fought it.
Yeah. We appreciate our friends at Redmont. One more segment to go when we come back right here on TNR.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
There are so many things I love about walk-ons. Authentic, mouth-watering Louisiana cuisine, prepared fresh, daily from scratch. A great beer selection and TVs everywhere to watch the big game every day of the week. And of course, they've got 2 great locations on Highway 280 and 119 and at Hoover near the Hoover Met. Walk-ons is also a great place for happy hour, 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with $5 moonshine swirls, $5 house pours, and half-price appetizers. And it's an easy take-home experience for the family as well. Highway 280 and Hoover with walk-ons.
Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from The Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
Hang out with The Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out The Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at The Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Our Michelson sound of the day comes from Bucky McMillan, head coach of Samford, as the Samford Bulldogs end up repeating as Southern Conference regular season champions. Here's Bucky after clinching that title on Saturday.
Accomplishment for our guys and for this program and all the people associated with the university to win the SoCon this year and be able to win it and be the 1 seed going into the tournament. Now, I've always said it's unfortunate in major basketball that sometimes it comes down to 3 games in March. But the true testament, honestly, for your team is what did you do with an 18-game sample size at their house and our house. And to be able to do that and go back-to-back and bring home 2 SoCon championships, the first 2 Samfords had in back-to-back seasons, and with so many of these guys that were part of both of them, and then to win it outright on our home floor with 2 games left, I'm so excited for our university and all the people, not just our players, coaches, everybody associated with the university, those fans. I'm so happy for them.
Yeah, so nothing's guaranteed for March Madness, but a dangerous team for Samford, a big accomplishment for Bucky and that team. Back-to-back SoCon champions. Brought to you by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision.
Yeah, 205-969-8100. We were at the RV show this past week, and we saw our friend Amy down there. Call that number. Ask for Amy. Tell her The Next Round sent you. She's going to hook you up with that pre-inflation pricing. You have 0 to lose to find out if LASIK is right for you. I got the procedure done over 2 decades ago. I had the 2200 vision. I was legally blind without the aid of contacts. Now 2015 vision, better than 2020. Make the phone call that I made. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. 205-969-8100 or online michelsonlaservision.com.
Sorry, Lance, you heard it there from Bucky how much these coaches value that regular season conference championship. I know we talk a lot about it in terms of what Alabama and Auburn and Tennessee are going to do over the next couple of weeks to try to lock down the SEC conference championship, the regular season championship, I should say. But you heard it from Bucky there, and that's even from a coach who knows he's got to win his tournament to get in. It does not matter what they do in the conference. They got to win their tournament, but still there is great value because it shows your team has stood the test of time. It didn't just get hot at the right time.
Yeah, I've always said that too. Regular season championship outweighs conference tournament championship. The Cubs signed Cody Bellinger to a 3-year, $80 million deal, but basically it's a bunch of 1-year deals. There's opt-outs at the end of every year. Craig Counsell's the new coach there. I think the Cubs are a playoff team this year. 28-year-old Cody Bellinger.
Man, I
betting on himself.
Yeah, Bellinger was one of my favorite Dodgers for a long time, and the guy could absolutely do everything. I mean, just, great arm, great speed, obviously a ton of power, former MVP, and you just thought that he had lost his swing. There was a big loop in the swing, and then for him to be able to go to Chicago, there wasn't much of an expectation, and he hit over 300, which, by the way, his career best as a big leaguer. The power was back with 26 home runs, 97 RBIs, deserved contract, and you just hope if you're a Cubs fan, he can keep the consistency.
Brewers, Cardinals, the usual folks there. Steak, I'll take Cubs playoff. You say no if you want to?
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
Take the Cubs. It's an easy winner. Cubs playoffs this year. Should be fun. Should be a fun time there as baseball gets cranked up. Okay, NFL Combine this week. Starts Thursday. The skill players go Saturday. We're starting to get guys who are going to throw, not throw. Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels both will not throw at the Combine. They'll throw their pro day. Michael Penix Jr., though, Bo Nix, going to throw at the Combine. You have a feeling either way. You like it when the guys throw there. You understand when they don't throw there.
Yeah, I mean, look, Caleb Williams got nothing to gain. And the way people are talking about Jaden Daniels, he's got nothing to gain right now. He's going to be at least the worst case third quarterback off the board. He's going to go in the top 10. I think if you're Bo Nix and Michael Penix, it is questionable whether or not you're going to be in the first round. And this is going to be the difference. If you throw well at the Combine, it's a good chance you're in the first round. If you don't, probably going to fall.
I think for Penix, it's all about the medical evaluations, too. I mean, obviously he's got to throw well at the Combine, but the medical evaluations are going to determine everything for him. This is a guy, correct me if I'm wrong, 2 ACL surgeries, Lance, one on both knees. Am I right about that?
I think so, yes.
Mm-hmm. An ACL on both sides, that ties the record. And that's a huge question if I'm an NFL franchise.
Yeah, I think Daniel Jeremiah said in one of y'all's Disrupt that it will not, it's about how will the knee respond to another ACL surgery? You have to play it out that he's going to have another one. How would the knee respond to another one?
DJ's point was, all right, let's say Penix is a really good quarterback on evaluation, right? Everybody likes his quarterback skills. You now put him on the board, though, in the red flag area, no matter what. And any franchise has him in the red flag area because of those 2 surgeries. And does his skill outweigh a guy, Lance, that hasn't had one of those 2 surgeries? Hasn't had any surgeries, perhaps. Bo Nix obviously had the leg injury at Auburn, far less concerning than 2 surgeries by Michael Penix. But even if you take a down, let's go Austin Reed, who played at Western Kentucky. To my knowledge, I don't think he battled any injuries. If you think Austin Reed and Michael Penix are anywhere close to one another, I bet more franchises go Reed just because of those injury concerns. I mean, that's a huge gamble.
T. Higgins.
I thought you were about to do some sort of eye test.
No. I mean,
I agree with you, Brown.
It is, but watching Penix this year.
Oh, I agree. But I mean,
but he was, and people don't talk about this enough. He was really hurt against Michigan.
Yeah. But watching Penix this year, he was really good. But you know what happened if Penix blew another knee? I go recruit another good quarterback, or I've got Austin Mack standing behind him, who I really, really like. You know what happens when he blows a knee in the NFL? First of all, I miss the playoffs. And then I'm in a situation where I don't know if I need to draft another quarterback. I mean, you screw that up at quarterback, and that could be a 2 or 3 year penalty for you in the NFL. So it's a huge concern.
Dallas, that was the joke. That's how you don't beat the tie. T. Higgins is franchise tagged with the Bengals. Not that big a deal because the Bengals, San Francisco, and some teams getting bailed out with now the largest increase ever in the salary cap, $30.6 million increase, 13.6%. That's great news for the 49ers, who we really had on the clock of breaking up because they were up against the wall salary cap. They get a big advantage here.
Yeah, I think it shows you how healthy the NFL obviously is right now. In 10 years, the salary cap is about doubled.
Yeah, in 1994, the whole salary cap was $34.6 million. We just had a $30.6 million increase.
Yeah, I don't know what the number is going to be this year, but Roger Goodell talked at the Super Bowl about trying to guide the NFL towards a $25 billion revenue year.
Right.
$25 billion revenue year.
Probably got it if we're upping it up, right?
I mean, I don't know where it was this year, but that's Goodell's vision. And there were a lot of people when he first said that, they're like, there's no way. And now you look at it and you're like, there is a way.
The contract, though, I just wonder how much more are they making with YouTube than they actually made with DirecTV?
I would imagine more. When you think?
I mean, it has to, or they wouldn't have left, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. So, yeah, they're making a little bit more with YouTube. The TV numbers are only going up. They just had their 2 most watched Super Bowls in history. They'll make money on that, too.
Tell us about it, Sports Allegiance, LT.
Yeah, our friends want to remind you that it's your opportunity to call your state senator today. I'm going to give you this number, and you have the opportunity to reach out and get this bill passed, Bill 151. This is big, and just let me find the exact here. Alabama, one of only 12 states right now where you can't legally place that wager. You've got an opportunity to get the right to vote on lottery, casinos, sports betting. House Bill 151 will allow you to choose whether or not you can place a big bet on the big game this weekend. Call your state senator today. Tell them to vote yes on the lottery gaming bill. For more information, bettingalliance.org. That number, by the way, that you can call, 334-261-0800. Put it in the group text today. Send it out. 334-261-0800. Paid for by the Sports Betting Alliance.
Miami and North Carolina tonight, 6 o'clock ESPN. Baylor and TCU tonight, 8 o'clock ESPN. These guys will have a video coming up in a moment where you can participate in everything that's going on at lanceslock.com. Lanceslock.com. By the way, Mississippi State has won 5 straight, is it? Or is it 3 straight?
I think it's 5 straight.
I think it's 5 straight.
But guess who they get?
Who do they get?
Kentucky, right?
Kentucky. Could be a dangerous game for the Cats.
Could be. Yeah. I mean, the way they responded to their last big win.
Yeah. Nebraska looks like they're in the tournament. Teams that could miss the tournament all of a sudden. Florida Atlantic, 7-5 in quad 1, quad 2.
Bad loss yesterday.
But now they're trending down as they lose to Memphis. They may actually have to win the AAC to get in.
Yeah, look like an at-large almost all season long until it mattered the most.
And Michigan State, who loses yesterday, they're an 8-10 seed now. But if they lose some games down the stretch, their next game's against Purdue. They've got a chance to get a big win, but no guarantee Izzo's in March.
Ohio State's played their best basketball since they fired their coach. Yep. I mean, that's 2 huge wins for them. Not that they're going to make the tournament unless they win their conference.
Yep. Has Flanagan been suspended, Brown? Did you see that one?
I haven't seen it. No, I haven't seen anything.
We'll keep an eye on that. We're back with you tomorrow, 9 a.m. Central Time. Until next time, God bless you. God bless America.